This is Diaspora TV, your number one global network.
Struggle a lot. I'm super excited to be standing right next to Simple as we have this beautiful, beautiful day. I just want to say special thank you to everyone who is watching us back home on BBS Telefina. Bane mwebale nnyo kubanga mutulaba olunaku lwaleero kagenda kuba kasavu kanyama luzungu na luganda nga tugezaako babulira ki ekigenda maaso kozi katutandike n'ebigenda maaso. We're also streaming on Facebook, on Diaspora TV, so you can be able to watch there. And if you are in the better part of North America, and indeed in Boston, we have a boat cruise coming through, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So thank you all for coming. Maybe some in-house rules. May I request you to please come and occupy the front seats. Kindly, if you can just grab your coffee if you are behind. Please come and occupy the front seats. I'll tell you a little bit story as we continue about sitting on the front seat because it worked miracles for me. Please.
Advantages
Please.
of sitting in the front.
Please.
Basebo ne banyabo tubasaba mujje mweyongereko maaso eno waliwo emikisa mingi ng'otudde mu maaso gy'ofuna.
Kituufu abali ebweru namwe twagala obaaniriza muyingire munda so that we can get started. The team that is from the Ministry of Internal Affairs working on the national ID registration and issuance, please kindly, we can hold that process a little bit and then we can come to it as we continue. Kindly, if you're outside, come and we officially begin. All right. Yes, thank you. All right, a special thank you to all our sponsors and partners. Thank you so much for investing. Airtel Uganda, thank you very much. Bank of Uganda, thank you very much. Diaspora TV, thank you very much. Stanbic Bank, thank you very, very, very much. Z Coffee, thank you very much. And we will be mentioning all our other sponsors and partners. NIRA, thank you very much for investing in this event. Simple, why don't we get started with the national anthems? We'll start. Can I invite you to please stand up to honor the United States and our country, our motherland, as we, by the way, celebrate 60 years of independence. I'll be wishing you happy Independence Day as we continue. But first, let's have our national anthem. We'll start with the American anthem.
All right, thank you very much. Those were the national anthems, America, Uganda, and East Africa. Before going any further, let me call upon Frida Sebalu to come and give us an opening prayer.
Mama Frida Sebalu, you're very welcome.
Let us stand on our feet. I'm going to be praying in Luganda. Mukama Katonda omuyizi w'abeena ssebo taata twagala okwebazaawo olunaku lwa leero. This is the day you have made, we shall rejoice and be glad in it. Mukama twagala okwebaza olwa maama waffe Uganda agenda okweza emyaka 6. Tukwebaza Katonda ffe omuyinza wa byonna eyasobozesa abantu okuyimira n'okugamba nti kati tusaanidde okufuna obwetwaze. Tusitula maama Uganda mu maaso go. Uganda eyise mu bintu bingi nnyo, emyaka 6 gy'abaddewo. Akyalina bingi nnyo bye yeetaaga okutereeza, akyalina bingi nnyo by'alina okulongoosa. Essubi lyaffe liri mu ggwe Katonda waffe, era ng'oluyimba bwe lugambye nti, O Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. Katonda ffe omuyinza wa byonna, tusabira abakulembeze Mukama ngo bawe ekisa, obawe okutegeera, obawe okumanya. Nga Sulemaani bwe yafuna omukisa ogw'okukulembera n'asaba amagezi. Katonda ffe omuyinza wa byonna, Uganda okuva ku myaka 6 n'okweyongerayo, tukwegayirira bingi ebitannaba kutereera Mukama, obawe amagezi abakulembeze, obawe ekisa Mukama Katonda w'abakatonda. Tukwebaza Mukama wange essubi lyaffe liri nti, this far you have brought us Ebenezer. Tukkiriza nti embeera egenda kweyongera okulongooka, amasomero gajja kwongera okuzimbibwa, amalwaliro ganayongera okuzimbibwa, ekibuga kinaddamu nga bwe batugambanga nti mu Gyenkaaga abantu baavanga all over the world, ba freedom fighters bonna, Banyerere, Bakinyata bajjanga e Uganda Makerere University ne basoma, amalwaliro nga mayitirivu Mukama. Ne leero tusaba nga tukkiriza the future is going to be even brighter for Uganda. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, I have prayed.
Amen. A round of applause, Mama. Thank you very much. Happy Independence Day to all of you. Happy 60th anniversary. Uganda, I feel very proud as a Ugandan. We're celebrating 60 years. We have come afar. We have grown with leaps and bounds. We are resilient people. We are a happy people and a great community. Simple, how does it feel to you being a Ugandan?
And
great. Celebrating 60 years.
60 years. Where are we coming from and where are we going? I think 60s. Is there anybody who was here 60 years ago in this country?
Mama Maggie.
In this country.
Oh, this country.
Yeah. 60 years ago. Mama Peace, were you here? Dr. Chisem, were you here 60 years ago? No. All right, those who were here 60 years ago. Okay, we have a few of them. So how does it feel? It feels great. And to see where we've been and up to here, chamanyi nnyo okulaba nti we are transforming day after day. Bintu bigenda bikyuka, technology-wise, thinking-wise, everything is totally different if you compare 60 years ago. I don't know you. Were you here 60 years ago?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I'm just celebrating 36 years, which is a message for those of you who can decode it. I'm just 36 years, and over the last years of my life, I've seen a growing country. Our economy is growing. Road networks are growing. I can tell you that our business environment is changing. More investment in Uganda. The tourism sector is growing. We certainly have something to celebrate as a country. Freedom of the press and freedom of the media. It's not what it used to be. It is actually growing. It's work in progress, and certainly we are as a country on the trajectory. And thank you for actually investing back home. We will talk about investment today because it's the Business Expo and Breakfast. So thank you so much for the remittances back home to build our country. Clap for yourselves. Every year you send money back to your families, back to our economy, and Dr. Maggie will be breaking that down. But hey, simple, isn't it fair to invite Mr. Ronnie Mayanja, who has been the organizer and indeed one of the brains behind this. Mr. Ronnie, Karibu, welcome very much. Can we give Ronnie some love?
Yes.
This is the first time we're having this in Boston. Our host, Ronnie Mayanja has organized, and indeed the Uganda Diaspora Network has organized different events in Canada, Toronto. Welcome back, Mama from Toronto. In Uganda, we always look forward to December for a similar event, and we, of course, waiting for you to come back home in December, right? Please book your tickets in time. We can't wait to have you back home in December. Mr. Ronnie, you're very, very welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for these two able gentlemen. Mr. Simpo Sereko Sekonde is one of our community organizers here. He's very able in terms of okutukunga and bringing us together. Mr. Sereko, we really appreciate you. I'm getting some reverb or feedback here. Maybe I need to stand here. And then I wanted to appreciate Solomon, who came in all the way, flew in, got here yesterday. Definitely appreciate. I need to change the mic. I'm getting some feedback in this one. I don't know whether it's the mic. Yeah, it's giving me some hissing sound. I just want to get rid of this. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ronnie Mayanja. I am a resident of Boston. I've done many things in other places, Uganda inclusive, Canada, Edmonton, and we had a recent event with a Frigo band that I was very proud to have been able to pull together with a team of promoters in Canada, and it was quite a success. They were supposed to cross over here, but our visa approvals came in a little late, so we might have them probably Thanksgiving in a couple of weeks. They might be back here in Boston. I just wanted to take this opportunity to recognize in a special way the mayor of the city of Burlington, or the person responsible for that, who has honored our invitation to be here. Thank you so much for coming. He will be able to come and speak shortly. I also recognize our patron, Dr. Maggie Kigozi, who is also the chairperson of Makerere University Foundation. She will be here to talk about a number of things. Many of you went to Makerere University, and it's time to give back. I am a product of Makerere University. Many years ago, I graduated from there. Dr. Maggie will speak on that. So, abasomere Makerere mwenna. Make sure you interface with Dr. Maggie Kigozi. He's accompanied with his nice, great son, Fred Kigozi. Thank you for making the trip all the way to Boston. I also want to recognize in a special way some of our partners, people who have helped us put some of the things you're going to be seeing this morning into tomorrow together, starting with Mr. Arthur Kiwanuka. Mr. Arthur Kiwanuka is the head of affluent banking in Stanbic Bank. You know, if you need a mortgage, you need something, he's going to be talking about that, and many other things. Their net worth customers who bank with Stanbic. He's the gentleman to talk to. We have Mr. Philip Wabulia, who is the Executive Director, Bank of Uganda, in charge of petroleum, as well as he's here to talk about, you know, people who might have been banking with Bank of Uganda, commercial banks in Uganda, and left their, many years ago, left their accounts dormant. He will tell us how you can be able to access your money. He will also speak to other benefits of bonds and treasury bills, where and how you can be able to utilize some of those resources. We have Mr. Roscoe Nsubuga. Mr. Roscoe Nsubuga is the chairman of Zigoti Coffee. They are trying to make an inroad here in Boston. One of the things I encourage you guys to do is to make sure you celebrate Uganda. And we're drinking coffee. I don't know whether it's from Costa Rica or wherever it might come from. Mr. Roscoe, this is a chance for us to drink Ugandan coffee in Boston. We are very, very big consumers of coffee, especially as the weather transitions into winter. So it would be good to hear what you and your partner have to say as far as that is concerned. So we really appreciate your support and being able to attend this event. I also, in a special way, wanted to recognize Miss Pamela Nakato, who basically is representing Airtel mobile money transfers. Airtel is launching a product where they want you to be able to pay for services. You know, if you want to send money directly, she'll be able to tell you how you can be able to do that and benefit from making sure that the money gets to the intended recipients. Abasasula school fees, abetaga kino na kiri. Pamela will be talking about that. In a special way, we wanted also to talk about career fairs. We happen to have a Ugandan, believe it or not. She's a principal of a high school. Nampera Lujira, thank you so much for coming. She's going to be talking about what are some of the things you as parents should be doing. I mean, as a principal of a chartered school here in Massachusetts, I felt should be a good addition to our program in as far as the commonly made mistakes or what you can do to better prepare your child for college, as well as avoid student loan debt and many of these other things. She's Ugandan, and when we asked her to be here today, she accepted our invitation. Madam Principal, thank you so much for coming, and we appreciate you being here. So to our global audience, I would like to really appreciate everywhere you're tuned in from. This is the first New England Business Expo. We hope to make this annual around Independence. We've been supported by the local community here, multi-professionals. We appreciate you, Mr. Chisembo. Thank you so much for the support you render. He will be able to talk about how you can also be able to get your taxes in order. We have Mr. Derek. Derek is also a tax and financial advisor here in Boston. He's also been able to join us. We have other people that I might forget. Niall, cargo carrier, will also be able to speak later on. If you need to ship anything from here, be it hospital beds or furniture or stuff for your house back in Uganda, we have a leading shipping company that has been around for more than 30 years, led by Mr. Wilson Kadu. He's also going to be joining us shortly to speak to that. With that, I just wanted to let you guys know that please feel at Burlington Marriott. We are here today. We're also going to have a dinner tomorrow where we're going to be recognizing in a special way the leaders that have basically supported us and the incoming executive. So I'm sure Maureen will be joining us later on this stage as the incoming chairperson of the Uganda-Boston Association to speak about what her executive has in store for us as a community. This will be happening largely tomorrow, but I'm sure Mr. Simpon Sereko will be introducing some of the leaders we have in the community. With that, with no further ado, I just wanted to invite the mayor, if you might just come right now, before our patron. The city of Burlington has a very interesting structure. They have a rotating mayoral kind of arrangement, and that chair right now is held by this gentleman here. I just wanted him to introduce himself. He also had a proclamation of independence. We reached out to them. We asked them to be here because we were in their town of Burlington, and he's going to tell us a little bit of a history about this town. There is a very huge presence of Ugandans that live in Burlington, and then he will make his proclamation. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ronnie. I think mayor gives me too much power. I'd be lying if I said I didn't like the way it sounded. But my name is Nick Priest, and I am the current chair of the Burlington Select Board. And so instead of having a mayor, we have a 5-person board that runs the executive branch of government here in town. We also have what's called a representative town meeting. That's our legislative side of government, and that's a 126 elected person body that deals with our legislative side. So that's the very 30,000-foot view of how Burlington's government functions. I was honored to receive the invitation, so thank you very much for having me today. Burlington, in very short order, was a farm town for a very, very long time. And it wasn't until the highway came in the 1950s that we experienced an economic boom. People were like, oh, we can get from Boston out to farm town and start developing it. And so since then, we have been developing the community around us and trying to make it a welcoming place for everybody. I think that, living in the Northeast, we have a more progressive way of thinking about how we envision community. And I love that, I get to be here leading into the 60th year of independence for Uganda. I think that's wonderful. I was thinking about this. I was reflecting on it, last night and today. I happened to come across a video, and I forget the name of the individual who spoke, but it was a TED Talk. So if you Google TED Talk culture language, you're bound to find it. But this gentleman was speaking on the notion that our culture is intrinsically tied to our language, and that as we advance globally as a species, we begin to find a commonality in our language that we can all communicate. And the internet has pushed us towards English, for better or for worse, probably for worse, because it's a confusing language. As someone who's a native English speaker, I can say that. And the notion that each of our respective languages hold within it something so specific and unique to our cultures, right? They were developed by us, by our people, and they reflect that very specific need for communication. And it's a beautiful thing that we shouldn't lose. And so it's incredibly important as we think about community to maintain our culture. I come from an Italian family. I wish I could speak Italian. I'm now teaching my children through Duolingo how to speak Italian. My grandparents spoke Italian, and it's something that I feel is lost, right? We're so quick to run towards the easiest path, and we don't take the time to slow down. And I'm finding that now. So my wife and I have 4 children, 2 girls and 2 boys. Our oldest, our firstborn daughter, Penelope, she's going to be 9 this month in a couple weeks. She's taken interest in violin, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to be 9 years old. Where did 9 years go? Right? I've been running so fast, not literally, you can tell, toward trying to maintain a successful life for my family, that I feel like I'm missing things, right? And in a broader spectrum, when we talk about culture and community, these are the things that we need to be focusing on, right? So I love that you are maintaining your culture. I think that it's even more important to not only strengthen that culture and that community, but to share it. In Burlington, that's what we see as a strength, right? And if you live in Burlington, or you've been in town for a while, you might have noticed that the Indian American community celebrates Diwali on the Common, right? And they have a huge presence in town. And Indian Americans make up almost 30% of the community in Burlington. I knew that we had a Ugandan population, but I had no idea how many folks lived in Burlington. I would love to know that. I need to know that. When I chair my meetings and I look out at an empty room and I'm just running through my agenda, checking the boxes, voting on something, no one's there. No one's come to talk. That's community. And I want you to share that with me. And I want to share my culture and community with you. And together we'll be infinitely stronger. So, I won't blather on because you've got a long day ahead of you, and I've got 4 children at home who are probably going to have my wife tied up in a chair somewhere. We have a proclamation that we put together that announces and celebrates Uganda's independence. And I will skip to the fun part because these tend to be long. The town of Burlington does hereby issue this proclamation in celebration of the 60th Uganda Independence Day and encourage residents to take part in the observation of Uganda Independence Day on October 9th, 2022, signed by the Select Board of Burlington, Massachusetts. This is for you. Thank you all very much for inviting me. Have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful 60th Independence Day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Solomon, I don't know what you have on the agenda, but definitely, if you've just joined us, my name is Ronnie. I'm here as one of the people helping support the team led by Mr. Solomon Seranja, veteran journalist, our BBC Komla Dumla winner for the year 2019. Ladies and gentlemen, why don't you give this young man I've had a chance to work with and also mentor and also see him grow into something bigger than life. Congratulations on that award, by the way. How is the weather treating you in Boston so far? In Boston, as we
really, sometimes you get me growings, and I keep telling myself, please, God, keep me leveled. Clip them every time they grow.
So take it away, but there are a couple of housekeeping concerns. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've not had any coffee, please make sure you do that. We also have the national ID registration going on outside. If you happen to have registered for your ID in the diaspora, they are here for pickup. Many times people are told they are sold air. So in this case, the embassy in New York brought all these IDs, and they are right out there. Be sure to, and also to register for a new one. Otherwise, our program is going to run as Mr. Solomon will be telling you, and he will be joined by Mr. Simple Sereko of Simple Communications. So thank you.
Mr. Ronnie Mayanja, a round of applause, guys. Ronnie, thank you for always bringing us together. How many of us know that it takes quite time, emotions, money to organize these events? You know, a simple birthday can literally make you run crazy. Imagine organizing these events annually. It can take a life out of you. So let's appreciate Mr. Ronnie Mayanja once again. Thank you very much. Without any further ado, I want to welcome our patron, Mama Maggie Chigozi. She wears so many hats, but for this, let me call you Mama. Can we celebrate Mama Maggie Chigozi? Mama, you're very, very welcome. Mama is a member of the diaspora. She's back home doing great things, investing and encouraging investors and investing and loving Uganda. Mama, you're very welcome. Karibu tena.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and happy Independence Day tomorrow. Let us celebrate our beautiful country. There's no one who represents our country as an individual. It is our country, it belongs to all of us, and we are happy to celebrate it. I recognize our representatives from the various organizations, as Ronnie has introduced you. We have representatives from our embassy, representatives from business, government, central bank, and the bank. So you are welcome, and thank you for coming here. But most importantly, we have people who live here. That's why we are here, to meet with you, and you are very, very welcome. Ewaffe tuli ku BBS Tervaina, abatulaba ku television yaffe ey'obwajjajja, tusanyusa okubeerako nammwe. Nga tuli wano mulabe nammwe bannammwe ababeera eno, mugezeeko okubategeera, boogereko nammwe mujja kubawulira nga naffe bwe tubabuulira ebiri eka. So I welcome you to Boston, the ones who have come from Uganda, and I have to thank God really for having got us through COVID-19. We had a very rough time. You had a very rough time on this side. But I think none of us wearing masks here, and none of us in Uganda are wearing masks, really. So we hope we've come over that, a combination of being careful, vaccination, and just be sensible. And we are where we are right now, thank God. Lockdown was not easy. Were you in lockdown here in Boston? Oh, really? Being in the house for hours was really hard. So you are here, you live here. America is a top investor in Uganda. We have a large number of projects. Some of them are franchises like mine, Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola. We sometimes are looked at as American, but the owners are Ugandans. So we have those types of companies as well, quite a large number of them. We have our Asian community that came here in the 70s, and then many of them did come back. And then we have you. We don't want to look at you as Americans. You are Ugandans, but you do come back and set up and do whatever, gets jobs or set up. And so we're really happy that that happens. I think you all know how beautiful Uganda is, but sometimes the Ugandans, and I'd better say this in Luganda, the Ugandans take Uganda for granted. tetumanya weather yaffe, tewali nsi ndala efaanana yaffe. Empewo eri wano, olaba amakooti ge twesabise. Twesabisa amakooti mwe muli eyo mweyagala. 26 degrees buli lunaku. Myezi 12 bannange. Temumanyi birungi bye muyina. Enkuba etonnya. Okay, tuyina rainy season. Naye ne bwe teba rainy season, enkuba etonnya. Amazzi tuyina mayitirivu. Lake Victoria munene nnyo yenna ali waffe. Over 40% ali waffe. Eriyoko Tanzania n'abana Kenya balina kakatono. Naye nga ekisinga obunene kyaffe. River Nile wetandikira waffe. Kwegamba. Ffe Katonda yatwagala n'atuwa ebibira, n'atuwa ebinyonyi, n'atuwa ebisolo, n'atusobozesa okulima ffe okuva edda bajjajjange ze baali balimi. Era ne kaakati nange ndi mulimi. Naye batusobozesa okulima olw'ebyo advantages ezo nga tutawaanye nnyo ng'abalala ab'ensi endala. Bw'ayagala okulima winter bw'ejja ate n'abugumya, ate desert n'ebeera awo, amazzi gali luddawa. Tebitukwatako ffe nga Uganda. Ekisinga obukulu kye tuyina, kye mwerabira ye muntu gwe bayita Munnayuganda. Banange ojja n'akubuuzaako takumanyi. Maama oli otya? Oba namuzaala ddi? Serwanja mumuwulidde ampise maama. Mutabani wange ye waali. Serwanja ampita maama. And Abannayuganda about 40% buli gwe nsanga ampita maama. Olwokuba nina abazzukulu kati n'erya jjajja lyange. Yes. Naye n'otambula mu kkubo nga buli muntu akubuuza. That is only Uganda. That's only Uganda. They want to know how I am. You want to know how they are. Twesiimye nnyo naye oluusi tukyerabira ekyo. N'ojjukira pothole yokka oba amasannyalaze agaavuddeko naye ne weerabira basics ffe ze twafuna. Katonda yatwagala nnyo. So for those of you who don't speak Luganda, very briefly, I just took them through the beauty that is Uganda, the climate, the greenness, the fauna, the wildlife, and most importantly, our people. Various tribes. We don't speak the same language. We may not understand one another, but we can communicate. We will greet one another. And, we find it very strange here that I walk past somebody and I don't say good morning, because they would be shocked if I started saying good morning to them. It's not in their culture. So that is so Ugandan. And we sometimes don't recognize the advantages that our country has. Now, when it comes with that, the diaspora yourselves, why are we here? We are here because you are very important. You are very important. You are Ugandans, first and foremost. Yes, you're probably Americans as well, and that is fine. When I first came to Boston, again with UNA, Uganda North America Association, and I met the Ugandans who were living here. I came from Uganda, where you were called Basama, you were called Bankuba Cheyo, none of which is very fantastic, is it? Kuba Cheyo really means you sweep, is it? So when I came here and I met the people that I met here, people like the ones in this room, they were teachers, they were educationists, they were doctors, they were Ugandans like we all are. They went to university, and that's when we went back to Uganda and told them, you know what? That is a very, very important component of our population that we need to take more seriously. And so we began to do that, and we have come a long way. We really have. We brought the president. People came to see for themselves and whether to believe us or not. And so we are still here, still talking to you. The contribution that you make, first of all, through remittances. Yes, they reduced a little bit during COVID. We all lost jobs. Ugandans lost jobs. You probably lost jobs. So they did reduce a little bit, but they are picking up again. They are picking up again. And the Bank of Uganda is here. I'm sure they can tell you more about that. There was a decrease, and then we've picked up again, but not back to the older levels, which we hope we shall get back to very soon. But as far as remittances are concerned, USA is a top supplier of remittances. Yes. Can we clap for ourselves here, those of us who live this side? You are still the top source of remittances. Followed by United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Switzerland, strangely enough. Switzerland, I'm not too sure how many. I guess there are many Ugandans there in Switzerland, but yes. The cost of transfers remained high, relatively high. It has come down, oh my God, since the days of Western Union. Do you remember, Ronnie, when that was your biggest complaint, Western Union? You know that they used to beg me to take money to their relatives. They don't even know me. I mean, it's like we've met here today. Give me $1,000, please. Give it to Mr. So-and-so over there. And I would be challenged how to take it through Entebbe Airport. But yes, I did. And so that was how dangerous it was. The money you were sending. You really don't know me. I can disappear. But, you know, we've come a long way. And today we have Airtel here to tell you more about this particular product. But even us in Uganda now, things have changed. We have e-banking, we have mobile banking, we have it all. We have cards, we have everything. So much progress has been made. It's not so difficult to fund your... I was just telling Roscoe here, when he started working a project with Post Bank, and they started having cards. What a relief it was. My relatives were in Masaka. They would jump on a taxi to come to fetch school fees, already spending like 10% of the school fees coming. So, you know, once the cards appeared, my life was so much easier. For us as farmers, as business people, the financial sector is really in our favor now. So what did we talk to you about? We talked to you about your relatives. Yes, you send them school fees, you send them money for food, you send them all kinds of, just for health and other things. But the drainage on you, you know, you have your salary, you should be using it for your family, and here you are every month or every few weeks having to send money to us, to your relatives back home. So the UIA prepared a number of projects, which we shared with you, and they are on the website. Small projects that maybe your mother can do instead of you having to send her money every month. So those projects are still there if you want to look at them. And they are on the Uganda Investment Authority website. Over 500 projects. They've really done them in detail. So you can look at that and stop having to send money all the time and do something more sustainable. Then what about yourselves? Are you staying here forever? That is an option. Have you become an American and you're going to retire in those old people's homes? The thought of them makes me I have relatives, I have Wazukulu, I have people back home. I can't imagine being in an old people's home, but if that's your option, that is fine, and you prepare for it. Otherwise, how are you preparing to come home? How are you people thinking of coming home? And I think you should think. If you haven't thought about it, you should think of coming home. And not stay here and be lonely and be watched by, we have all kinds of extended family around us that would help to look after you in your old age. So we looked at investment. What can you do? And this is, I guess, let's touch on the retirement. Retirement. If you're going to retire back home, what should you be doing? First of all, if you have a job here and you will have a pension, is to make sure, we've had our relatives come home without a bank account in Uganda, having just left here because they said, I'm going home, and, not done the processes, whatever it is, you find them out on your side. I don't know what they are. But how is that money coming to you in Uganda? First thing you must have is a bank account. So if you don't have one in Uganda, you need to open one. Yeah, and you need your ID. So I'm glad the embassy is here with us to help you actually get your national ID if you haven't already got an account. If you already got an account, they will still need to see your ID, even if you opened it years ago. The ID is now the document that you need. I don't think I should worry about the ID. Nobody is really interested in following you around. We love the fact that you are here. You're sending us lots of remittances. Government has no problem with you. They are actually very happy with you because you send us a lot of money, and that is very useful in the form of dollars, that is very useful. So you should not worry about national ID being a document to I don't know what it's supposed to do, to be able to follow you around. So government is here, and they really would like to hear from you. So what I'm saying is what I heard, but you are the ones to tell us what it is that you want us to do. The Uganda private sector is here too, represented by a number of us, to tell you how we do business in Uganda. Is it terribly difficult? Can you be profitable? And we want to say yes. Airtel will tell you they've grown leaps and bounds. Stanbic, seriously? The biggest bank in Uganda is huge and doing very, very well. So, Pepsi Cola, we have a new, when you're going home on the highway, look at our new factory, just down there on Entebbe Highway. We are doing okay. So you can do business in Uganda, and you can succeed. I think that's the message that you get from the private sector is here. So where are the opportunities? What would we want you to look at? While you're still here, can you trade with us? Can you import things? Can you look for other people, support us to get markets from here? You are highly educated. The things you do here back home are equally required. Are you a teacher? We heard of the headmistress. That's of great interest because we need our education sector to benefit from the experiences of what you do here, the different things. Tourism. Many Ugandans have set up incredible places, incredible, lodges, smaller ones, bigger ones. The tourism industry was growing really, really well, affected by COVID, but it's picking up again. So what can you do in the tourism industry? Education, 60% of education in Uganda is private. Government provides UPE, USE, but the parents who have money prefer to go to the private schools. So that's another opportunity at all levels. Nursery schools, crashes for the mothers who work, secondary schools, vocational universities. We have 64 universities. Did you know that? We have 64 universities in Uganda. And why are they there? They are making money. The government ones are only about 6 or 7. The rest are private. We are looking at finance, of course, the traditional banks and others, but, SACCOs, and there are various options. Fintechs, there are fintechs in the country. ICT, you people here have been very high-tech, especially the young people like Tendo there, I'm sure. This is a sector with huge opportunities, and Uganda prioritized it. So we have the internet. We have, everywhere it is there, and we have tried to link you, and we have tried to educate people. The Department of ICT in all the universities is huge. Yeah? So our young people are actually very smart in this area. Then we have the creative industry. Yesterday we watched Woman King, a movie just here in the cinema. It's called Woman King. And Freddie, the young lady, was a Tim who? Sheila. Sheila Tim. Go and watch it. She's fantastic. She's a Ugandan. And, you know, just sitting there feeling very proud that I know we have a few others. Kaluya and who else? We have a few others, but, you know, this is a huge movie. And there she was, really being huge. She's a Ugandan. So the creative industry, the music industry. Have you heard of Navio? How can I start talking about the industry without talking about Navio? At least as somebody we can both relate to, who gave us a shock as a family. You know, there we were, doctor, the father is an engineer. You know, our children do that kind of thing. No, I want to be a musician. Okay, he is a musician, he's doing well, no complaints. So that is a sector that's really booming in Uganda. If you saw post-COVID, all the shows are, the cricket pitch, that huge cricket pitch is always full to the brim. Jamaica, Ashiba, I don't know who else. They are all there. So the creative industry, film, music, TV, radio is doing well. Have you got land? Question. Have you guys got land? Who hasn't got land? Maybe let's have that. I'm sure you have access to some land somewhere. Our inheritance, the way we inherit, generally, we all have a piece of land. So what's it doing? Are you going to go back and fight with squatters? Do something. Do something with it. The simplest thing, the easiest thing that you do when you're busy, plant some trees. Then you can wait for them to grow. They take a long time to grow. But when they do grow, you make some money. That's one. Is that me? Sounds like me. Yeah. So land, use it, and for agriculture. Livestock, crops. What do? I have a farm. We have a farm. That's my son, Freddie. And we have chicken. We have coffee. We have mangoes. We have trees, of course. We planted trees while we were still too busy to pay attention to the farm. But now we can pay attention to the farm. And, you know, bees, very easy. Very easy for you to rear bees and produce honey. But, of course, you are far away. So for those of you who are far away, unless you have a way of managing that, you need to look at those crops that really don't need too much attention. Nowadays, oil and gas is coming up. And there are opportunities even for the small. I think we have somebody from oil. Yes, we do, from the Bank of Uganda. There are opportunities for small and medium enterprises as well. Apart from the huge Total and Snook, there are opportunities. They're putting an industrial park right next, it's already halfway up, right next to the oil extraction area. And there are opportunities in tarmac, in cosmetics, in gas, so many things that you can make associated. But also, the people who work there need hotels, they need restaurants, they need supermarkets. So there are opportunities around the new oil and gas sector that we have now. So where do you go if you need help? I don't work at the UI anymore. That's where I used to be, and that's where I started this journey. But the Uganda Investment Authority is stronger than ever. It is there. It is there. So look for them. They will help you to register your company. They have a one-stop center. They'll give you information. They'll link you to everything that you need. Yeah? And I'm sure Ronnie there can also be very helpful. He's also been doing this with us for a very long time. You have children. Yeah, I know you have children. What opportunities are there for the young people here that will help us take them when they go back? We really need we need scientists, we need geology, for example, architects. There are sectors that we really need back home, and you people have the best education in the world, we hear. So let us have your children not come back with, come back with something that is relevant for growing our economy. Yes, who went to Makerere apart from Ronnie and I? There you are, Solomon. Okay. We have quite a few people here who went to Makerere, and I'm sure others are not here. Bananga ba BBA, sani yasomere Makerere, je muli ndowooza. Abe Makerere bampadde omulimu, ne bampa omulimu ogw'okuchairinga Makerere Endowment Fund. So I chair the Makerere Endowment Fund, which is a fund like all other universities. They have funds. They have these funds where they raise funds that they can be used to support the university. And our fund is supervised by the council. We are put in place by the council. I have a strong board of senior people in Uganda who will actually look after your money well. So what do we want? The first thing we need from you is please write down endowment. Look for this site, endowment.mac.ac.ug. Look for that site. Fill in the alumni form. We need to know where you are. We have a good idea about who went to Makerere, but where they went after that, what their address is, we don't know, because we had that very old. We probably had your parents' address when you were still there. It's no longer yours. So we need to know where you are. Please fill that in. And then after that, we want to stay in touch with you. We want to send you information on what's happening to Makerere. And also, we want you to help us raise funds for Makerere. Now, why do we want that? Why? I've been asked that question so many times. The children pay school fees. The students. Why don't you use that? It's not enough. A survey that was done of Makerere when they were trying to decide what the fees should be suggested like 10 million per year per student. Now, we need to be fair to our communities, to our people. It's not only the rich ones that will go to university. So we actually charge much less, about 1 million Uganda shillings a term. For those in private, then government pays for the others, a few of the others, very few of the others, like 2,000. Whereas, we have very many more than that. So the rest pay much, much less than what we need. So important things like infrastructure, the water, the sewage, the repairing the buildings are not done because of that. We have major successes. This year actually, they graduated about a month or two ago. We graduated 13,000 Ugandans. And we have a clap. We graduated 13,000. Are they comfortable? And the answer is really no. They are not. We can do better. So my request is please register. First of all, register. Try out our new system because it's very new. The Mark Advance system, the contact I've just given you is very, very new. It's about 2 months old. So put in your contact, donate a small amount. Start with. See if you get the response. I'm sure you will because we are getting the response saying, I have received this. Then after that, you can think whether you want to donate to because Makerere gave us a lot. I would not be standing in front of you if I didn't get to that ivory tower today. I would not have got a job when I was sort of a refugee running to Zambia during Amin's time. Again, I was a refugee running to Kenya during Obote II. And I immediately walked into the Ministry of Health with my certificate, and I got a job, straight. No questions asked. They just looked at that and told me where to go and work. That's how our university degree was able to do that for us. So really, we want the young ones who are there today, your children, your grandchildren, to find it the same way that we found it when we were very, very few. Now the numbers are huge. Everybody goes for UPE, USE, and of course the next stage is university. So the numbers are huge. And we shouldn't appear to be the ones stopping education in our country because of money. So we need your support and everybody's support. We will fundraise in other ways. we have a shop. Buy some of our beautiful Makerere University gear from, the shop. It's online as well. You can get a hoodie, you can get a badge, you can get T-shirt, whatever it is that you want. So that is the endowment fund. And you just press donate. Send us $1. Send us $1. Use your card. Or if you're in Uganda, and now that Uganda Airtel is here, maybe she'll tell us we can actually use the Airtel mobile money. In Uganda, we use mobile money, no problem. But I didn't know we could use it from here. I'm also hearing it today, which is great. And then check it out, all right? Then after that, let us support our university so that others can also benefit from it. Okay, so I think I've talked way too much, Ronnie. I better stop now. And I hope you are looking to coming home eventually. You are here, you're comfortable, and that's great. But your family misses you back home. We need you to come back home. So do come back. And what you will need to be able to do right when you're still here is look at a house. You must have a house when you're coming home. Isn't that true? Yes, and there are lots of people. I'm sure Ronnie brings a lot of people here to talk about that. So I thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you, Solomon.
A round of applause to Mama. Mama Maggie, thank you very much for pouring your heart out. Thank you. Let's love on her again. Thank you very much. I listened to her pitching to you to invest back home. I was like, wow. Please come back home and invest. And come home. We miss you as well, right? I was talking to one of my friends and I was telling them to come home. He's like, hey, but Solo, will my lungs handle the dust of Kampala? I'm like, my brother, we are still alive. We are still there. But won't I get Ebola? I'm like, I don't have Ebola. This is still your country. So, yes, we might have our issues, but it's our home. And it's important that we can go back and invest. He was actually telling me, I'm actually thinking of getting my kids and family to come. I'm like, maybe you should think otherwise. Maybe you should come home. Work, but come back home. We really miss you. Mama, thank you for making that decision years ago. And Mama Maggie doesn't want to boast about herself. She's the co-founder of Pepsi. She has a big farm. She's a big name. She's invested. She's employing, Mama, how many people? Think about that. She's employing about 620 people. Yes. Now, that's quite a big number. And I think that you can make that decision she made years ago to come back home and invest. And we grow our economy together, right? And this is why we're here today, to look at the different investments opportunities. We have the team from Bank of Uganda that is going to talk to us about investing in treasury bills and bonds. We have, a team from the real estate sector who is going to talk about, investing in the real estate sector. We have, people from Airtel who are going to be telling us a new product which is sending money at your convenience, at your phone. So it's just interesting. And for Makerere, I am one of those people, Mama. I did my bachelor's at Makerere. I did my postgraduate at Makerere. I did my master's at Makerere. I'm also going to do my PhD at Makerere. So it's only fair for me to also be part of the endowment fund because I'm a proud Makerean. All right, let's also, today, we're super excited to tell you about the NERA program, dual citizenship, national IDs. Many of you are here, and you've been asking yourself, how do I get a national ID? They are actually saying that the IDs are going to be expiring. So what do you need to get your national ID? There's a team from NERA that is here, just outside the auditorium, and there's a couple of forms to fill, but I'm going to ask Simple. Simple, where are you at? Simple, who stays here, he's also going through the process of applying for a national ID and dual citizenship. Simple, you're very welcome to tell us. I asked him to come and break it down for us to talk about what do we need for you to get your ID or dual citizenship. He's not from Minister of Internal Affairs. He's just here. Karibu.
Thank you, sir. For those of you who have just joined us, once again, we welcome you as we celebrate the 60 years of Ugandan independence. Happy independence. I know Mama was here. She said that the only person who calls her Mama is Ronnie Mayanja and Solomon. From today onwards, Mama, tukusanyukidde, nange nkuja kuyitanga Mama and the rest. Those online, thank you for watching. BBS Telefina, munzikirize nange mbuze ku bantu b'ennamayiba bateekwa okuba bandaba live and clear. Mama wange nalongo sekonde kwali andaba. Thank you for watching and the rest. Now, Mama, as you said, as we celebrate Ugandan independence, we have a lot of challenges, most especially these days when it comes to land issues, settling land issues, buying land. You need Ndagamuntu. That's the identity card. That's one. Then when it comes to traveling, now you know the passports, the Ugandan passports are being phased. So we are going to the East African passports. So you can go out, you can go back to Uganda with the Ugandan passport, but you can't come back without the East African passports. So we are lucky as we celebrate the 60 years that Mr. Ronnie Mayanja thought it very clearly. Until these people, we need services, their services. As you know, it has been very, very tiresome, expensive, and at times we fail even to get the time to go to the embassy, or no call appointment, or no kujako time, or spending a cent. So we thank you, Ronnie, for thinking about us, not letting these services, door-to-door services at their independence. So, right at Mukubira Kumungalo. Yes, temutade musente, temuvuze, temukolinze. Why not? Thank you, Ronnie. Keep it up. Now, national IDs. Tunabanafe from the embassy, baliwa abweru wali. These are the requirements ziwetaga for the national ID. It's a must. Any transaction in Uganda, you have to be with the national ID. In the past, we used to have the passports. Now, national ID no nkulu nnyo kuba ekulaga wajova kuchalo, where you come from, our village, and to make sure that these people, they know you, the LCs and all other stakeholders into that system. So one, if you have to have a national ID, you have to be with a copy of a national ID of both or either abazaddebo. Bamama bamwe batata bamwe babanga gye bali Uganda babaweereze endagamuntu kopi bagikuba ekifaananyi bagibaweereze wano mujjagiraga wali basobole bibakolerako. Then also a birth certificate. Nkakasa, all of you have birth certificates. I know some of you say they are zabula, zakwa, zakola zitia, but at least nira ekola certificates, you know. So you have to go through the normal channels, nofuna birth certificate. Boboli na nkadde bakyazitwala. Fabali mu nkadde za, I think most of you have those signed by Cox, Juko, Cox. Mukyazijjukira empanvu ennyo bwe ziti. I think kati abapya bafuna ndala naye those for us ababaddewo for some good time, we still have them. So I think basobola okukitwala. Then that's the ndagamuntu. Ugandan passport for citizens by birth in Uganda. Osobola okulagayo your passport. Bobanga wazalibwa Uganda nofuna endagamuntu. Also additional requirements for dual citizen. Now, dual citizen, most of you abamu mutya, abamu gamba kino kiri. No. For me, it has worked for me. I saved the $50 zensasula entebe wali for the visa. So ndagayo bulazi passport yange Uganda nenkola ki nenyingira Uganda. Ate once you get the dual citizen, when you reach Uganda, bajja kuteka mu system, you are, for the first time nga ofunye dual citizen, you have to go with that little certificate they give you. Kwaba kwenorolinga no yingira. So the second time you just kulaga bulazi wali passport yo ngo yingira. Last year I think nalagayo America nga, oh, you have dual citizen. Okay. Ninyingira. Ngate bankoneddamu. So no kufuluma biba byangu nnyo. So tebabatiisa tebakola ki dual citizenship jeri eyamba, you save money and you're regarded as a Ugandan. So going back home. So to apply for dual citizenship, you go to www.visaimmigration.go.ug. Ekyo kukikola online right now and right today, we are not doing that over there. So you go online, as I said, on that website. Then you start a new application and you select citizenship in the drop-down menu under visa or permit. Actually, we have all these papers. Information in wali. We have a lot of information here. Yesobola kusoma line by line olw'obudde. So mbasaba from here obanja kufuna empapula ezo nzijenga nzibagabira for those of you who are interested. Also, the passports, as I said, that they are phasing away the Ugandan passports. For those of you who have the only passports, Gamba Ugandan passport, right now we have the East African passports. Eza blue, zeziriwo ku mulembe guno kati. Ziri enkadde, zo zigenze. Ninga, newebanga ya expiring many years ago, still you can renew it. Don't you worry, even if you came here in 70s, we can renew that passport. So you just go over there, nebabanga basobola okuwa that information. Also, you can, actually passports are renewable on online. It's www.passports.go.ug. I know I'm rushing. Nainga, we have these papers. Musobola okugenda nazo, nemu applying. There are like 5 steps. Apply online. Once online application and payments are complete. Now, abamutia, when you put in your information, then it comes to that segment, Gamba pay. Osasula mu banka ze Uganda, oba mu Uganda Revenue Authority. So some people batya kadi yange bajaji hakinga sente za bajazi no. Tekiri ekyo. So once that window comes, gwe sasula mu Ugandan banks, aba mu Revenue Authority bangamba if you pay with URA byanguwa kuba ekudirectinga right away to the embassy nokola appointment okugenda okufuna okujjako biometrics zo. So it's very easy that way. Residence ID or driving license is a requirement. Copy of the recommender's national ID, letters of consent of children below 18 years by one of the parents. Mwana wabanga ali below 18 abietaga. Also, for those of you who are like, you don't have a dual citizen, you're an American or you're a Canadian or someone or no kufuna visa ngogende Uganda. As you know, many people have been turned away at the airport. Ogenda Uganda or tolina visa. You have to get a visa before kugenda ku airport. Visa taking knows about, you give it a week to be on the safe side. Give it a week. Please, many people have been calling me kubira embassy banyambe. Embassy sawe batibasobola kuyamba. Era airline wali when you check in bakubuliza out, do you have a visa? Or you are not dual citizen. But when not dual citizen, they will let you go. So you need a visa to go to Uganda. But not dual citizen. So you also apply for the visa on www.visas.immigration.go.ug. And then you start the new application and select visas in the drop menu. So instructions on akweziri. Please, season tugenda mu yakutambula, make sure you don't forget. 2 weeks ago, I had a case. Mama applied for the visa, ninga atabana tabasabidde. Nane they are traveling. Bali no balika. Then finally, ne begayirira, ne bagamba since the kids, let them go. Ne ate batu to Amsterdam, they had the same case. Ne finally they reached. So make sure you have all those. The visa is a must. Passport. So let us use this time. Let us use this chance. Let us appreciate it on Mayanja. Let us celebrate the 6 years. Nga tetusave, I mean, tetutadde mu sente kugenda Washington, kugenda New York. Abantu abali wali mu corner. Let us use them. They will answer all your questions. Ebisinga nabasibi answerinze bino. Empapula abazaagala ngenda kubanga nzibaleetera. So thank you very much. Mwebale kumpuliriza. But before I get off the stage, tulina banaffe aba Nairo Kago. Nairo Kago woli mukulu ono akoze emirimu mingi nnyo. Aweereza ebintu. Mama talked about sending things, remittance. Naye Nairo Kago, come here for a quick question. I mean, obuze ku bantu dakika emu yokka. Mukulu ono mukubireko mu ngalo.
Sebo tukwaniriza.
Yes. Mukulu Solomon omukulu ono atukwatiridde mu bintu bya Kago.
Sebo.
Era bw'onna kyagala okutwala. I think he has been here for over how many years? Mweka microphone.
Era sebo nzo agenda okudduka ewuwo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sabamanya.
Yes, my name is Wilson Kado, CEO of Now Cargo Carrier. We are based in Boston, but we operate across the United States. I've been in this business in the US over 25 years. So I have a lot of experience in shipping business.
So if you round off to Ugandan independence is halfway, like 30 years, right?
Yeah, kind of. I started in 1997.
Okay.
But I worked with different companies before Nayokago was opened in 2004. So I worked with Quick International Carrier, DHL, before I opened Nayokago.
All right.
Yeah.
So tell us, ebintu wetubirita nina kesi yange nina omugugu gwange ngukusanzaawa.
To be based North Chelmsford, Massachusetts, which is very close to borderline with Lowell. But again, we offer pickup services in most parts of the United States. Okay. So it doesn't have to be anything from Boston. It can be anywhere from California, Chicago, in another part of the United States. So
at times, I know we need a special packaging. Do you do the packaging or I do the packaging?
We do the packaging from Massachusetts, but anything out of state, go take a packing. But we can move any pounds, anything from 20 pounds or above. Yeah, moving, even less than that. So, and most of our business now is coming from Uganda, not from Ugandans in America.
So from Uganda to US?
No. People in Uganda, they can easily import anything from US. Amazon, Best Buy, they use our address as their address. They use our US address. And they will buy something from Amazon, ship it to our warehouse.
Okay. Let's talk about the time from US to Uganda. How long does it take?
It's very challenging now after COVID. We ship out like every week, or for air cargo every week or every other week. A package can take 2 to 3 weeks sometimes.
That's air?
That's air. Ocean freight, 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah,
okay.
Even sometimes more.
Now, do you tell your customers that it's going to take 3 months or 2 weeks or?
We give them estimated time of arrival, but we don't guarantee on that, the way things are moving now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically like 3 months.
3 months.
Do we have a peak season that the wine January, December?
No, usually people ship every time, whenever you are ready.
Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about the clearing. Do I have to pay the revenue or you pay the revenue on the charges on Savi?
When it comes to revenue, I think Dr. Maggie can answer that.
Yes,
I won't mention anything, but we give an estimate, not 100%.
We just estimate.
Yes.
Oh,
okay, yeah. Yes, we give you an estimate. How much is going to cost you? Estimate.
Just estimate.
Just estimate. But
okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you say you aka Nairokago?
No, I'll just thank Mr. Mayanja for organizing this convention, and thanking all Uganda people who have come from Uganda to come here, and Dr. Maggie to be out with us here. Yeah.
Do you ship from Uganda to US?
We can do it, but it's very challenging because we don't have a lot of market to come here. Mm-hmm. There's no traffic, and people who want to ship from Uganda, they want to bring food, which I don't want to get involved with food.
Okay.
You know, food or medication. And when you get to that, you have to go through FDA, customs. Yes, sir.
Akataleke kakamukoka. Mukesi yange nasibiramu esuka.
That's very rare. Nayo challenge jetufuna olala. The consignees singa omuntu abijja ye Uganda n'abijja ku office yaffe n'abitwale Namayuba. Between Kampala and Namayuba, anything can happen.
Thank you very much. You have a question for him, okay?
I just have a question. Kati ebintu bituuka omusolo gusasuddwa nti nguze 75 inch yange ngireeseewo ngisanga ku dduuka oba zinyina osasula n'omusolo?
Sebo teko kusasula omusolo tukuwa estimate oyinza okusasulira wano oba oyinza okusasulira e Kampala. We offer door delivery. Tubitwala wonna oba oyagala lwakitula tubituusaayo.
Okay. Naye ng'omusolo ogusasulidde wano.
You don't
So
have
ku
to.
shipping costs wano
I can add it on.
mufactoringiramu omusolo.
Yeah, but separately. Because no one will tell the truth that these stuff are worthy $800. Oyinza okuleeta ebizigo byonna, nice creams, okuva mu Victoria's Secret, £80, and say, oh, it's only 250. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So not everyone can declare the true value.
No, nkitegedde kuba ensonga lwaki mbadde nkubuuza nti omuntu bw'aba aguze consignment ye okugeza nga ku Amazon nejja ku ewuwo kati price gy'asasula gw'omuwa price nga buli kimu kiwedde n'omugamba sasula $800 and we will deliver at your doorstep. So tadda kudda ate bya clearing yati.
Yes, we do clear 90% of our stuff.
Oh, okay.
We do clear them from customs.
Okay.
But you have a choice that you can either clear it yourself or you have an agent to clear. We give you that option. But 90% we clear it.
Okay.
All right? But we can add on customs, but bracket estimated customs.
Okay.
That charge it. Sometimes they are perfect. Sometimes they can go a little bit more. Yeah. But we can do that. Even we include delivery service. But the delivery depends where it's going. Is it going to Ginger?
Was Zigoti?
Or Zigoti? Yeah, so that will depend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bane obugalo tweyanza nnyo sebo tweyanzeege. Sebo tweyanziza. Kozi mumuwulidde abatulaba oyinza okuba toli wano Boston naye oyinza okuba oli New York City, oli Washington, oli New Jersey, oli California, LA. Morris Ochoa ali LA. Oba olina ebintu by'otwala. Yeah, Nile Cargo. Sebo tweyanze weba nateekamu ssente ku mukolo guno omukulu baneetuddemu tumukubira obugalo. Abad is one of our prime sponsors today. Thank you very much. Sebo simple ndooza naawe waliwo byotwala e Uganda
bingi nnyo.
Kale mbadde njagala twanirize mukyala Pamela Nakityo era ng'ono yakulira Alternative Deposits Airtel Money Uganda. Ajja tubuulire waliwo bane tumwagaleko bana Uganda.
Tukube ku ngalo.
Ajje atubuulire ku nsonga za Airtel Money nti oyinza okubeera awo nga tonneebaka n'oweereza akasente. Edda nno nalina mama wange abaabeeranga eno agamba akuweereza kanamba. Bane bwakanamba mubijjukira kanamba n'ogenda waliwo edduuka ku Uganda House we twagendanga awo n'oteekayo akanamba. Akasente n'okafuna bane ebintu byakyukamu. Pamela.
Ne bw'obeera mu taxi kati sebo nga tolina zikuliza waka.
Ogampeerezaayo. Pamela, you're very welcome. Karibu.
Thank you, thank you. Good day, everybody. My name is Nakityo Pamela. I'm glad to be here. Happy Independence celebrations. We are happy to celebrate this with you. And I had alternative deposits at Airtel Money. I'll just introduce Airtel Money. So there's a law that came in act, the National Payments Act, that saw a separation of Airtel Uganda and Airtel Money. So Airtel Uganda is licensed by the Uganda Communications Commission. That's for the business of data and voice. And then Airtel is a separate company, and it's called Airtel Mobile Commerce Uganda Limited, Airtel Money. So that is the money side, and we are regulated by the Bank of Uganda. So I just wanted to introduce that. And basically, we handle the money side of things. And we have two licenses. That is the Payment Service Provider license, and then also the Payment Service Operator license. So the reason why we are here is basically to promote the international money transfer business, which is a big business, and Ugandans living and working in the United States have been sending money back home. But from the past, it's been on sending money to a bank account. What we've seen is growth of remittances to a mobile wallet. That is, if a subscriber has a line, then you can be able to send money directly to an Airtel money line. So we've seen growth, and year on year, we've seen growth of over 80% in remittances coming back home to an Airtel money wallet. So we've been touching base with our receivers back home because, you know, we're telling them you can be able to receive money on your Airtel money line from wherever around the world. What we've seen is also important to touch base with the actual senders within the diaspora, and that is why we are here. So we are here to connect with you and to see what more can we be able to do with you in terms of the payment space. So we have the international money transfer service, and we've been doing this for 4 years now, and we've seen growth in remittances. So what happens is we've partnered with a number of money transfer organizations to be able to create an enabling environment to send money home. So these include SendWave, Remitly, World Remit, Western Union, MoneyGram, TapTap, name it. So we've been able to do an integration with them to be able to create this enabling environment to send money home. So according to the BOU report, we've received money from abroad of about $1.1 billion, and we've seen this growing in terms of what we receive on the Airtel Money wallet. So it is instant, it is secure, it is fast, it's affordable, okay? Globally, that is around the world, okay? The US is one of our major corridors that we receive from for inbound remittances, and that is why we want to see how we can be able to grow with you in terms of being able to provide solutions for you to be able to make it easy to transfer money back home. What we've seen also is cross-border merchant payments is something that is big. What I've realized from the networks I've created since I arrived here, there are Ugandans working and living here that are actually using their Airtel lines to be able to transact business back home. So they load their wallet and they're able to send money home, like P2P transfers with ease. So what we are launching also in the near future is cross-border merchant payments, where you'll be able to pay for any goods and service at any merchant location directly from your Airtel money line. And how this will work is you walk into any merchant shop, and then you give them your Airtel line, which they will enter into their POS and be able to initiate a USSD push to your number, and then you enter your PIN, and then you'll be able to effect a payment. Same way you do with Visa or MasterCard. So that is something that we are launching within the UAE this month, and then the next is the US, and then other markets as well. But it's a very, very useful use case to be able to use these services back home within the diaspora. Now, coming to the receivers back home. The people that you send money to, we've created an enabling environment where they can be able to receive money across many channels. So we have over 672 franchisee partners in Uganda. We have 2,491 Airtel Money branch shops. We have over 164,000 Airtel Money agents spread around the country. So someone can easily pick up their money. And the use cases we've seen, when you send the money, what do they actually use the money for? So top is they pay fees. So during this back to school period, we've seen remittances actually go up from the diaspora. They do P2P transactions, that is you're paying someone else. We've seen person-to-business payments. If you may be sending money to the bank off your wallet, we've also seen that, where someone is doing a wallet-to-bank transaction. We've seen paying of bills. Electricity, water is also another use case that the receivers in Uganda actually use the money for. And then also we introduced a product called Super Saver, where they can be able to save using the platform. So we partnered with the KCB Bank to be able to provide this savings wallet to be able to save. And also for investments, they can also be able to fix for 3 months, 6 months, and then 12 months, just using their mobile wallet. So these enhancements that we've been able to provide to be able to have very useful use cases on what the money that you send back home, what does it actually do? The other thing is we're looking at partnerships as well. To grow partnerships, there are so many people that are coming up with solutions and apps within the payment space. And what we're saying is we're here to partner with you. I went to the Muslim symposium recently, and there were 2 ladies that had developed an app that helps people within the diaspora to purchase goods and services. Let's say if you want to buy probably merchandise within a Casero market, you just go into their app, and then they're able to pick up these things and then deliver to your family and friends back home, which is a very useful use case for us. And what we do is we do integrations with them to be able to make the whole payments ecosystem complete. So if you're out there and you have any innovation and that you have, we can be able to discuss and see how we can do these integrations to be able to create an enabling environment for easy payments for our people within the diaspora. So this we do via Open API, which is basically a platform that we put in place. We call it a developer portal. But for everybody that has an innovation, we can be able to do these integrations with ease, and then you start doing your payments. In brief, basically, that is why we are here, and we are more than ready to connect with you. And I'm looking forward to having an interaction with each of you. Please feel free to contact us and get in touch with us for any partnership that you need from us, and we also need you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Pamela. We'll get to ask you questions as we go on. I'm sure there. Do you have any question for Pamela? Maybe one for clarification, if any? Okay, great. Pamela, thank you very much. Pamela is around. Pamela is around, and if you have any other question to her, you can meet her. You know, she's going to be around. But thank you very much, Airtel Money, for coming up with this great innovation. That's alongside what we have been using. Ronnie, what you've been using applications, right? To send money. Yeah. They send Wave, you know. Yeah. I've actually, then there is the other one which I used in the UK. World Remit, yes. Then there's that. So Airtel Money now is also here with this opportunity. All right, if you guys had coffee today during the breakfast, that coffee was provided by Zikov. Yeah, it was amazing coffee, I should add. And it's purely Ugandan coffee. Purely. And it's on the different shelves of different supermarkets here. It's absolutely great coffee. And I was telling one of the founders, Risco Subuga, or Wemamba, that why do we, okay, I don't want to mention the brand name, but why back home, why do we buy these, you know, different brands and we have such good coffee? And I was actually, first of all, thinking, I said, do you have this on the shelves in Kampala? He said, yes. So I told him I'm going to buy that coffee. Without any further ado, I want to invite Mr. Nsubuga, who is the executive director of Zikov. And he reminded me that it's Zigoti coffee. So for those of you who perhaps may not understand this, but we've all grown up hearing Zigoti coffee. You're very welcome, sir, to talk to us about the investment and how our coffee is getting over Europe and the United States and therefore make a bid for investment. Karibu tena.
Thank you very much, moderator. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we had the mayor here, but I think he left, but I'll still recognize him. Fellow Ugandans, happy independence. We are here and are happy to be here with my colleague Solomon. Solomon is a son of the late Kato, who used to own Zigoti Coffee, but now the company is run by their mom, Mrs. Rose Kato, and I happen to be the chairman of the group. So I'm happy to be here. We are trying to do our best to promote the coffee. We are doing our best to promote the farmers back home, and we also want to encourage you, which Dr. Maggie, my friend and mentor, talked about. If you happen to have land at home, while you are thinking about doing so many other things, so utilization of that land, probably coffee should be among the things that you should be thinking about. We carried a few packs of coffee here. I'm sure when you taste it, those who have not had a chance to be back home, you will get the flavor of home. And then you will know that Uganda actually still exists, and it still has that flavor of the coffee you used to have. As Zigoti, we employ about 100 Ugandans, but we've not stopped at that. We've also gone ahead to create groups countrywide. So far, we've registered about 1,000 groups. These groups comprise of the youth and the ladies or women. Women because they are the backbones of the families. We know you carry a lot, and like the saying goes, they used to say, behind every successful man, there's a woman. But now I'm told the saying changed to besides every successful man is a woman. I think we give yourselves a clap. You might ask why we are here, but we are trying to develop additional markets. I think as Ugandans, we are proud that we were the first company as Zigoti to open up an outlet in Japan. Language was difficult, so many things were difficult, but we said somebody has got to make it. And here we are, we made it. We have just been to Florida. We've opened up another initiative with another company. So Ugandan coffee now is being sold. I'll get Ronnie to distribute the outlets that we do have in Florida. And we really feel that somebody from Uganda should make it. We need to have additional employment, among other things. We are looking up to getting new technology. And when we come here, we are so proud of you because I don't know what would have happened back home without you people. I think in addition to the earnings from coffee, you are the other guys that make us survive, to make lives home better, making people be able to go back to school, among others. But then also, we want to tap into your knowledge when it comes to the business community. We know you have vast experiences, and you meet several people, but funding is another challenge for us. We are looking out to people in the diaspora, people in the international community, among others, who can really give us the lead. On our own, we've tried. We've mortgaged each and everything we have to make Ugandan lives better. But when we come out like here, I think afterwards, Ronnie, you can help us to network us with people in Boston to see how best we can make lives better in Uganda. We are happy to be here, and we are also looking for partners in Boston, because I believe the biggest number of Ugandans is based here. And that can give us a very firm grip if we partnered with somebody who would like to sell Ugandan coffee. But also, while you are here, again, my mentor talked about it. At the end of the day, you want to come back home. But coffee is something, if you planted, say, 4 acres, you will be sure that each and every end of month, you will get an income out of that coffee. Because some of us grew up and were educated, again, up to Makerere University, plus other things, through the little 1 sack or 2 of coffee. And now we are here talking to you again, doing what was done by our probably great parents to make our lives better. We want to boost our economy. And again, we are looking out for people who can help us, who can lead us into getting what we want to do. Coffee, it doesn't stop at just drinking coffee, but there are so many other benefits that come with growing coffee, that come with drinking coffee, among others. So, our appeal, we are looking up to you to focus us. Probably we've done what we think is best, but as it is, where you are at, I think, the greatest horizon. That's what Americans call themselves. So we want to unite with you, work with you, and to make lives for our people better back home. I think there's still a lot that we are learning from here. Right now, I'll stop at that. And if there is any questions in as far as partnering is concerned, in as far as broadening our markets here and elsewhere in the world, we shall really be very grateful. Ronnie and the rest of the organizers, thank you so much for making it possible for us to be here. And we are looking forward to coming back again, sharing experiences, and seeing how best we can work together for God and my country. Thank you so much.
I just have a question. So in terms of employing the farmers and the people that you work with, you want to talk about that, sir?
Back home, we've said that we work hand in hand with UCDA. They give us farm inputs, they give us seedlings, and then we go out to the villages in different areas of the company. Mrs. Rose Kato is a director in UCDA. So as far as networking and reaching out to these communities, instead of people just loitering around doing nothing, we are calling upon them to come to us. We give them the seedlings, we give them the farm implements, and we are the very people who will buy this coffee from them for further exports.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause to Mr. Nsubuga. Well, this is the business breakfast and convention. So it's just a few things to pick up here and there for the team here. Some of you, like Mr. Nsubuga says, you have land that you've bought. Even if it's 1 acre or 2 acres back home, you can put coffee, and the market is there. Thank you for opening up markets for our coffee in Europe and now in North America. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you. And I ask people here in Boston to go ahead and support Zikoff and buy the coffee. It's amazing. It's amazing. I tested it this morning and I was wowed, right? All right, Madame Nampera, Yes, we can order coffee for our children as a principal. We'll be hearing from you as we go on. Yes, simple.
Thank you, sir. I don't know, the coffee, sebundi muliminanga, ogabendo kwa? Zabwerere.
Nemwagala ebyobwerere.
Asukuliki, we are breakfasting, sebo ogabendo kwa? For free.
Yes.
Sebo njijja mukama wa. Banaye munkubire mu ngalo nfunye endokwa. Wavumbu gubi.
Naye no gavumenti gavumenti ebadde egaba endokwa ezo.
Kangende kuona aze wano. Azinte. Bwe zifa.
Kubanga nze nange nafunako endokwa za gavumenti ku sub-county. Era gavumenti ebadde, I think it's Operation Wealth Creation. Bajja ku kyalo sebo nze mbeera kyabakadde.
Bugerere.
Otegeddeyo?
Manyiyo.
Era ku sub-county baatuwa endokwa z'emmwanyi. Era nenzisimba. Essaawa yonna nja kuba nkongola nange ndowooza nziweeyo.
Okay, very good.
Kanyongereko kino. Program za gavumenti zino si zaffe eri ffekka. Naye nammwe era sebo simanyi ali ku ground ewo endokwa zojja funa.
The problem nti otuuka nodde eno nodde eri omwezi ne guggwako nga tozifunye okyajjuza bupapula. Naye nze otontwala ngenda mu zigofi gye ngenda sebo neyanziza nva wa banna. Thank you very much. The spirit of Boston. Ndi namayiba ndi mulimi sebo ttaka gyeriri. Soon I think you are moving from breakfast to brunch, right? Or what time? Naye nsaba twasambyeko. Munzikirize bannange, we have someone, Mr. Arthur Chwanka, head of affluent banking from Stanbic, and is here to talk about diaspora banking. So now you see where we are moving. 60 years now, we're talking about diaspora banking. Are you there? Wetamwekubira mu ngalo for him. Thank you, sir.
Sebo tukwaniriza.
Thank you. Is it morning still? Good afternoon, everyone. Honored to be here. Happy Independence to everyone. And I'd like to thank Ronnie Mayanja for organizing this, and to thank you all who have come, and to celebrate everybody who's watching from Uganda. We're honored to be a part of this event. Stanbic, our purpose is simple. Uganda is our home. We drive our growth. That's our purpose. So anything else doesn't matter. If we can provide support and solutions for the people of Uganda, we have done our part. That's our contribution to the economy and all. Just to tell you a little bit about Stanbic. Stanbic is part of Stanbic Uganda Holdings Limited. Now, how it came about is it was Stanbic Bank initially. However, in around 2019, 2018, we started thinking we can do a lot more for the people of Uganda than just banking services. And there's so many things we can do under the umbrella of Uganda, or the license of Uganda, the banking industry, in license rather. So certain subsidiaries have been opened up since. We have a Stanbic Properties that was specifically intended to support Ugandans who want property and proper valuations, proper management of their properties and so on. It made sense, and we couldn't do that under the bank umbrella, but so we created that company. So for you guys who live in the diaspora, if you have a property in Uganda and you want somebody to support you, take care of that. You want to make sure that actually you have, if you want to make sure the value that you're paying for that property that you're trying to buy is correct, that's where we come in to partner with you and ensure that actually you get value for your money. But also managing the property when you're not there is also another important item there. So we also then came out another company that's under our subsidiary is the Uganda Incubator. The incubator is intended specifically to support small and medium enterprise owners in Uganda. One of the challenges we established is that people used to come to the bank. They want funding, but they couldn't get the funding purely because the companies were not running the companies the way they should. So what we decided is to create a solution where we educate them, prepare them, to run the businesses properly, governance, taxation, and all that stuff. And then, of course, oil and gas came through. My colleague Philip will talk about oil and gas eventually. Then we said, you know what, if you want to be a partner or participate in the oil and gas, you have to have a company that actually the international companies can actually trust. And we started preparing companies for that as well, and it's become a big deal for Uganda. And so it's another subsidiary. Then we have FlyHub, which is fintech. Somebody talked about fintech, and I thought we in Uganda, in Stambik, say, you know what, there's so many things that are coming up. People are moving their businesses into the cloud. People are talking about APIs and all that stuff. How can we participate and support the customers we serve? So that's one way we got into that and said, you know, well, let's create a company that can help support the businesses that we serve. We also lend money to. Stambik Securities is about investments. One of the biggest interests of the people in this country or who want to bank in Uganda is investments. There's a shift. I mean, people used to buy land, and they still have land, as indicated by everybody who's spoken already. But there are also other investments. You can invest in land. You can rather invest in land or houses, but you can also do other things. There are bonds. There are other securities that you can look at. Actually, you can do any security you can think of. You can mutual funds. We have those ones as well, and so on. So this one says, if we can't do that through the bank, we can do that through SPS Security, which is another subsidiary. But then the main one, of course, of the companies under the holding is the bank, as that everybody knows. We can do current accounts, savings accounts, any account that you think about. Dr. Maggie Higos talked about your need to actually, we should encourage you to think about opening up a bank. If you're going to come back to Uganda, how do you get started? So we'll take care of that for you. You don't have to be there. We can open up an account for you and manage the resources without having to worry about anybody. And we made it so easy that you can open up online and maintain it, and it also stays. I mean, we also notice you're going to maintain your account in Uganda when you're registered in Uganda. How can you make it simpler and cheaper for you? And of course, partnering with different people like Airtel Uganda, we're able to move the money from here directly into your account. So those are things that are exciting things we're looking at the bank. What else can we do for the bank? For Stambik specifically is the biggest bank in the country, so anything that you can think of, we can do. We support on a personal level and also on a business level. So accounts is just one of them. Investments, that's the shift as we've talked about. Bonds, and I know Philip will talk a little bit more about that as well. That for me is a big one. People used to only own homes. When you think about it, if I had 200 million shillings in a home and also 200 million shillings in a bond, I may be doing a lot better with a bond. But how do you diversify? You don't have to look at just one of it or the other. You can do both, and you can do more. So that's my message to you. We will be your partner in that if that's the direction you want to move. But our job is to ensure that whatever journey you're on as an individual, we support you, whether it's on the business side or the personal side. Our job is to ensure that we support you, because that's our module. So I talked about the fact we're number one in the country. The biggest thing we're proud of is the fact that we provide services and solutions and work the journeys with our customers to whatever needs they might have, whatever they might have. And the other item that we're excited about is the fact that we're able to provide a return to the customers who choose to invest in Stambik as shareholders, but also to make the lives of the people actually who choose to use Stambik as a bank, make it very easy for them and support them that way. Maybe the last before I go is the most exciting thing that we have right now is we have a wallet. We talked about the FlyHub as a journey, a part of our journey. We have the wallet right now. It's called the FlexPay wallet. That provides everything that you can think of in terms of supporting you, making payments in Uganda, paying for fees and so on, paying for all kinds of services. And maybe the last one also is we've partnered with insurance companies. One of the most important things that we've talked about, that we've heard from the people who live abroad especially, is I have my mother who lives in Zimbabwe someplace. When she has to go to hospital, I have to find money to take it to her, to send to her. Sometimes her needs come when I don't have enough money. So what we've done is we partner with Prudential to ensure that we have a insurance policy that's available. If you can buy for your mom an insurance policy for so little money, depending on your needs, we personalize that based on your needs, and you're able to, she'll go to hospital anytime she needs to. You don't have to call for money there and then. That's a beautiful thing for us as a bank, but a beautiful thing for the people in Uganda. And it's informed by the feedback from people who live here actually. So they say, how do I make sure that in case of an emergency, I can support my mom rather my mom can be taken care of without me being there, even if I don't have any money. That is one way of taking care of that. That's all I'll say for now. I'll answer any questions. But in the interest of time, I'll just stop here for now. Like I said, I'll be outside, take more questions, take more feedback, or whatever it is that you want us to do for you. Stanbic is, like I said, a partner that you can work with on anything that you need in terms of finances and anything else beyond finances. Like as we indicated, there's different companies that we opened up within the holding company in Uganda. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming through, and enjoy the rest of the day. Happy Independence again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chwanuka. Thank you. And indeed, he's still around, and he can be able to share a moment or two with you during the coffee break. Well, it's about 7 o'clock in Uganda, and it's also coming to midday here in Boston. So a special thank you to all our online audience that is watching us from all across North America and indeed across the world. And Abatu BBS Telefaina, thank you very much for keeping it. And I'm sure it's going to be going for news in just a couple of minutes from now. But without any further ado, one of the latest products, and I need you to pay attention to this. In fact, if you have a pen, get yourself ready to write. One of the biggest investment opportunities is investing in treasury bills and treasury bonds in Uganda. You have your money, you're not trusting your families to build for you houses and all these things. Bank of Uganda has come up with big investment opportunities, and this includes people who are watching back home. I need you to listen very carefully to the different products that Bank of Uganda has come up with, and that is treasury bills and treasury bonds. Allow me, let's put our hands together and welcome the Executive Director of Bank of Uganda in charge of petroleum, Philip Wabulia, who is also going to talk to us about the different products that Bank of Uganda has come up with. Philip, you're very welcome. Karibu, let's give him some love. It's a big product that you need to take advantage of. Philip, I've really been thinking hard myself to really invest into treasury bills. I used to think that it's for rich people. You know, you have to have 100 million to actually pump money into the central bank. But today I'm also going to listen closely. You're very welcome, Philip.
Thank you very much, Solomon. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Philip Andrew Wabulia. I work with Bank of Uganda as the Executive Director, Petroleum Investment Fund. I know most of you have not heard about it, but I will tell you more about it. And before I say anything, I would like to remember our late governor, Professor Mutebile, who passed away earlier this year. May his soul rest in eternal peace. He was a very great supporter of the diaspora. And Ronnie and the team can subscribe to what he did and how he contributed to the diaspora. Now, why does a person in charge of Petroleum Investment Fund stand here to talk about treasury bills? Okay? So it's very important so you know, prior to my role, I was the Executive Director Operations, still in Bank of Uganda, for 5 years and 9 months, in which I was in charge of issuing these treasury bills. So I'll tell you from that side. But prior to that, I also worked with Stanbic in the treasury. So if you go and look at the Stanbic balance sheet from 2006 to 2012, you can know how naughty I was to grow the balance. Now, prior to Stanbic, this is the most interesting, I was with Citibank. So I'm proud to say I was the first vice president, global markets in Citibank, who's Ugandan. So you see, we can move. So I associate with you guys. And before that, I started with Standard Chartered. So I've seen both sides. And why I'm so passionate about this is I'm always asked, what are government securities? And I always ask myself, I keep on saying the same thing, but maybe I'm saying it differently. Now, government securities, as Professor Mutembile says, keep it simple, used to say, may his soul rest in peace, is government borrows money. Even the US. You've heard the US has almost 31 trillion in debt. So governments borrow money to run the government. So government securities is debt that we give to the government. Kati waliwo abamu aboogera Oluganda tebajja kutegeera kye njogera. Governments mu nsi zonna zeewola ssente ku bannansi n'abagwira ne basobola okulwaninga ki government. So bw'owulira ekintu kye bagamba government securities kitegeeza ebbanja lya gavumenti lye yeewoze mu bantu. Let me start from there. Ekyokubiri, lwaki Bank of Uganda? Bank of Uganda tulinga ba agent. Inti ffe tuvaayo ne tugamba nti muwole government sente we batasasula ffe tujja basasula. Mukitegedde? So tewali mu nsi yonna government yaleeremeddwa okusasula sente. So let me change it back to English for those who understand English, because I'm trying to coordinate two different groups. Governments issue treasury bills through their central banks typically. Why do they do that? Is to be able to guarantee that they shall pay. Even the countries that have gone through a lot of problems, like Zimbabwe, they have always paid. So this issue, they may not pay us, does not happen. So that is one. Number two, government, whenever it borrows from you, or we're issuing a treasury bills, it assures you, you will be paid on this debt and this amount. Ate abamu kumwe muyinza obutamanya tewali kiseera ekyali kibaddewo gavumenti yonna mu nsi n'eremu okusasula. And lwaki? Kubanga bwegaana okusasula oluddako abantu tebagenda giwa ki sente. So ezo ze sente gavumenti zeekola ki zeyeewola mu bantu ezikozesa ki ekyo tetwagala kugendayo eyo. Let's stay for Bank of Uganda kyekola. Ffe tukuŋŋaanya sente ekiseera ekituuka ne tubasasula nga gavumenti etusasudde. Weba tetusasudde era tubasasula. Tulina arrangement yaabwe. So abamu edda we used to have certificates. When you buy a treasury bill, you used to have a certificate. Now, we discovered in, I think it was early 2000s, abantu nga babba certificates ezo. Omuntu atali Philip, najja n'agamba, I have this treasury bill. N'atwala sente, kati kyo ne tukijjawo. So kye tukugamba, bwe tu issuing a treasury bill ebeera nga bw'olaba time deposit eri electronic. So bw'ogenda ku bank n'obasaba nti njagala gula treasury bill, bakugulirawo CSD account. CSD eringa nandigambe Central Depository System account. And then ku account eyo kujja okureceivinga interest ne principal, which is very important. Now, abamu babuuza, lwaki neetaaga okugulawo account? Why do I have to open an account? I already have an account. What we discovered as Bank of Uganda is many people lost money when they didn't know how much money they had invested in treasury bills. waliwo omukyala yajja lumu n'agamba nzijukira omwami yagambanga nti yali investinga mu treasury bills. This is 10 years later. 10 years later, the husband passed away. The lady has no idea. But we had Central Bank, netumugamba, okay, give us your names. Tetwamusaba all those things, later jajjao, na bichi bichi. No. We get the basic information. Netutandika okuddayo. Nga kituufu, omukazi balina sente, nezigenda ku account ye, account nefuuka dormant. Sente nezibeera mu bank for years. No one was what? And guess what happens? They will sit with my good friends, the commercial banks, ngabasirise. Then, one day, Bank of Uganda comes and they declare, oh, we don't know where the person is. I'm going to talk about that later. But right now, the reason why twagulawo account eyo, inti etwala netereka information yo, it keeps your transactions. We can see if Serwanja comes and says, I bought a treasury bill in this year, eranga tumujirayo ki statement. So, but not all banks zitunda treasury bills. Njagala nnyo okubeera very clear. Tulina only 8 banks eziri primary dealers. Sigenda kugenda mu details, but bw'oba oyagala kugula treasury bills, if you want to buy, go to your bank. If they are not primary dealers, bajja ku referring to one other bank through themselves. Waliwo ekintu, there is something that came up, and I'm laboring so much on what are government securities. There is tax on government securities. Naye, the way we understand tax sometimes chitutawanya. The tax on treasury bills is 20% of the interest earned. Now listen to this. A person walked to me and said, no, I want to sell my treasury bills. You want to tax us 20%. I'm only earning 15%. Tetwasobola kulyonnyola abantu. It is 20% of the interest. Do you see the difference? Omuntu agamba nti tax is 20%, but I'm earning 15%. How can you tax me 20%? So let us go. If you had 1 million, nofuna 15%, it means ofune emitwalo 15. Correct? Ku mitwalo 15, you are ejja nejjako 20%. 20% of mitwalo 15 is how much? 30,000. Ng'ofuna meka? Mitwalo 12. So twafuna nnyo obuzibu nga government erese emusolo ogwo. Bank of Uganda neegamba katunnyonnyola abantu. Let's explain what is the interest. Now, most of you diaspora stopped investing when you heard about the tax. And I can now tell you, you've missed an opportunity. And ngenda banyonyola. So, treasury bills. Many of you ask me, what is a treasury bill? Government borrows for 1 year or less, or government borrows for 1 year and longer. Any treasury bill or borrowing from government, from Serwanja, Ronnie, or Madam Maggie, is a treasury bill if it is less than 1 year. That's why owuliranga tugamba government enonya sente 91 days, 182 days, 364 days. That is a treasury bill. And the difference is when you put in your 100 shillings, you have to wait for 90 days if you put in 91 days. Or if you put in for 182 days, you wait for 182 days. Then they'll give you principal plus interest. Now, this is where I advise people in the diaspora. Be very careful what you ask for. Many people come to us and they intended to buy a bond. Then agamba, naye interest rates zigenda kwambuka. Kansoke nkolemu 3 months. They put in 3 months, nezimachuaringa nazeerabira. Najja after 2 years, naye nateekamu treasury bills zange zino. They have never paid me interest, but the money has been sitting on the what? On the account. What I advise you is a treasury bond seems to be more convenient for you if you're going to invest this money for a long time. Many people forget the difference. Treasury bond, to issuing up for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Now, many people forget. I had a very interesting situation. A gentleman was 83 years, came to me and said, my sons have sowed. Mfunje ka pension kange, kangule nyumba z'abapangisa. I sat down and I looked at this gentleman. He's 83 years. How is he going to chase people for rent? Okay? So I left the bank, went to his office, and I said, have you heard of a treasury bond? Actually, those things, I don't understand them. Is my money safe? Now, the kids, unfortunately, were convincing him to buy rentals. So I asked him, is this money for you or for the kids? He said, the kids have grown, they have gone, they have moved on. This is my money. So I sat him down and I said, let us invest in the 20-year bond, which is paying 16.5%. Mumanche yangamba, mutabani, even if I was to eat the best food, I can never live for 20 years more from today. Correct? And I sat down and Mugamba, you do not have to live for 20 years. Nemugamba, this interest jogendo kufuna, you have a gratuity for, let's say 400 million. They are paying you 16%. Buli mwaka ogenda kufuna 73 million in interest. Bozigabanyamu by 12. Every mwezi afuna meka 5 or 5.5 or 6. Okay? Nemubuza okozesa sente meka. Mutabani nkozesa mitwalo nga kinana. 800,000. Nemugamba, if you get this money, zijja kuyamba ate kinene kisigale nga kikola ki? Je kiri. Now this man, lucky enough, he trusted me. He said, ovude mu Central Bank no jam office yange. Nemugamba, yes. Kati nze gwe nkusasula meka. I said, you don't have to pay me. All I want you to tell me who are your bankers. Gamugamba, okay, bayite. They came, Nentula nabo nembagamba, he wants a 20-year bond. Of course, the banks were not happy with me, but nabagamba, that's the best solution for what? For this gentleman. Now, when was this? 3 years ago. First track, beginning of this year. Omwami ngampita ngamba, you know what? I've been living on this money, but endala zisigaddeko ku account. Njagala tuziddemu tuzikole ki? Tuziteekeyo. But I advised him, I said, you can do that. Oba oziteekako for medical reasons. Kubanga at 80, now 86 years, you're going to start having medical issues. Nemuwa magezi, gula insurance. So when ndaba bantu bano bonna nga boogera, it's good that I came last. Omwami yagula insurance. In March, the man fell sick. And the insurance came very handy, although he needed to top up. But I'll tell you, Katonda Mulungi, the man has been able to be looked after with that small money, and he continues having money. So when Bagamanti treasury bill is less than 1 year, treasury bond is longer than 1 year, you people in the diaspora, take an interest. Because centers, you remain with the money for a longer time. Okay? Kati, the question the gentleman asked me, Bwenfa, if I die, what happens? Okay? And I was very simple. Make a will. Ugamba abana, whenever this thing matures, they will make a decision how they want to use it. But for now, sente ziva mu treasury bills zibalabirire. And I can tell you right now, the man is now what, 88? Or 87 now? Right now, that gentleman is a very happy man. He's not chasing people for rent. He's not. During COVID, the man said, Oli bulungi mutabani, I'm receiving my money. During COVID, I can tell you now, I was not like most of you didn't go to work. I went to work every single day in the office. The central bank doesn't stop. So when I talk about treasury bills and treasury bonds, now that I have your attention, let's talk about it. Why? If today, and I can use my sister as an example, if you own the treasury bill or treasury bond, and for some unreason, wetaga sente, ojagenda wa mukulu Arthur, Mustanbik, and say I have a treasury bond, I need money for 3 months. Let me give it to you as security. If you give it to Arthur and he refuses, you come to central bank. Because the treasury bond is money. It's like I'm telling you, lend me some money of this money that I have. And Arthur says no. Then he will have a discussion with my colleague in supervision. Okay? So advantage one, you have the treasury bond. Now, if I talk about you as a diaspora, you work so hard. But every month you're sending money where? Home. Supposing you got your $10,000, converted it, it is like now, let me say 38 million, and you invested in treasury bonds. Interest kebakuwa every 6 months. Kuwaba na ogendo kusasula school fees or whatever it is. You don't have to keep on investing. So there's an advantage. And every time I laugh, because 3 weeks ago I was in Aga Khan, and those people, every time they look at me, they call me money man. I convince those young boys, whatever savings, because the minimum is 100,000. 100,000. And I gave them a story. I said, you see my twin sons? I go to the Abu savings, 4.5, put it in the treasury bonds. Every 6 months, can I see my account? I want to see how much money I have. What have you done? I've trained them to learn to save. By the time they grow up, baja kubanga bayina sente zimala. But it is passive. Umwana omwaye mitwalo 10, mitwalo 5. At the end of the year is 600,000. I am kindly begging you people, spend time and try. Try $100 and invest. You will be very surprised. Okay? The other thing that I realized, and we have ladies, and please, gentlemen, don't take it personal. I noticed that ladies save a lot. But sente muzireka nnyo ku account. N'ofuna ka account n'ogamba mami kankateke mu mannyago, ono mwami wa buli simutegeera bulungi naye kanjira nsavinga. Okay? Please buy a treasury bill or a treasury bond. It will help you and that little project you're doing. Why? Because treasury bond ofuna interest every 6 months for the next 20 or 5 years. And then the rate is fixed. Now that I can see all of you are attentive, okay? I want you to beat those children of Aga Khan. So that by the end of this month, take you 1 million. Next year when I come with Ronnie and we have funded this whole thing, Bank of Uganda, I want us to compare notes. Muja kwewuunya nnyo. There is a lady I met in in New York last week. Tiyafuna degree. Now, do you know what she did? For the 30 years she worked, she kept investing in those securities. A lot of money. The same people who tell you, the currency is going to depreciate. Dollar egwanyo. The dollar has never lost more than 16%. So I ask you people to invest in treasury bills and treasury bonds. If you can't, try. Ezitakuluma. I'm sure the next month you will come. So that is treasury bills and treasury bonds. So you'll ask me all the questions. There is a part that I wanted to discuss with you today. Many of you have abandoned your accounts in commercial banks. mulese sente nyingi and you've just abandoned them. Because the bank asks you for what? National ID, correct? Yeah? Did you know that you can go and get an affidavit? And you sign and say, I was Nabulime Prosi, but now I am Prosi Mukasa. I got married. I don't have a national ID, but I'm the same person. And I want to receive my money and close the account. And you shall receive the money. Did you know? None of you knew, huh? Yes. So today, I'm telling you, I cannot give you details because it will make a lot of news, but there is a lot of money you've left abandoned in your accounts. Try and follow up. If you fail, come to Bank of Uganda. Okay? There is a lady called Charity in Communications. She will help you. Ajabayamba. Nemulese nyo sente, nemuzireka. Let me give you an example. You imagine how many people have bank accounts in Uganda? 4 million. Correct? 4 million. Imagine if each of those 4 million left 1,000 shillings. How much is that? 4 billion, eh? Now I can tell you the amount is much more. So, what has Bank of Uganda done? Let me tell you a story. Bank of Uganda has something it is working on. We call it unclaimed financial assets, whereby we want to go deeper and find out who are those people who have left their what? Their money unclaimed. And did the banks try to get in touch with them? Because that's what the banks are supposed to do. If they did and they failed, we want to keep that money in the central bank until one day you show up, or your relatives. Do you know that in America there is $100 which has never been claimed since the 1900, and it is still there in the Federal Reserve, unclaimed. You go on the net and you check US unclaimed financial assets, you'll see that story. Okay? So, if you have money that you left in Uganda and you've failed to get it, please write to the Bank of Uganda and say, I'm having a problem getting this money. We will guide you. Okay? If you fail, you look for me. I'll help you to make sure that you get it. Okay? Thank you very much. I think I've addressed everything. Solomon, I hope I have exhausted everything.
Another round of applause to Philip. 2 questions. My neighbor asked me, can we start registering for the assets and for the treasury bills and bonds here? I think Arthur is here. He works with Stanbic, and you can come, open up an account, and register for treasury bills and bonds. I had this question to you, Philip. Can I come direct to the central bank, or I have to go through commercial banks?
You have to go through commercial banks. And I'm going to tell you why. The main reason I told you, the central bank does not know Philip Wabulia. Central bank knows commercial banks. So you have to go through a bank. But if that bank doesn't do what you want, then you can report to the central bank. Then we shall penalize that bank. Okay? The reason we are doing that is that the bank has conducted Know You. It has your signature, it has your name, it has your next of kin. So they have all that information that we expect them to keep. Bank of Uganda is not humanly possible to keep all that information for 4 million accounts. So that's why we left it to the commercial banks. Okay. And we deal with the commercial banks.
Okay. Another round of applause to Philip. Thank you.
Thank
you. Today I have learned that with as little as 100,000, you can actually buy these assets. It's really, really interesting. I have learned a lot. Wow. I'm going to mobilize myself, sir. You'll be seeing me very, very soon. How many of you have learned something today? and you feel that you really are proud that you came and that you're picking a thing or two along as you go. Thank you very much. Ronnie, karibu.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to Mr. Solomon Seranja, who flew in yesterday, still jet lagged, but had to do the honors for us today. Solomon, we appreciate you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor, and many of you, our program is still running. We actually have about 3 more speakers we invited that are going to be speaking to us. Again, Derek, please stay on deck. We also have Dr. Chisembo to talk to us about taxes and how you can better do your financial planning. We will have Derek and Dr. Chisembo speaking shortly. And then there is also one other speaker who will be coming up. We have a dinner tomorrow. In case you're not aware, in Uganda now it's independence, it's 7 p.m. That means they're into that mode. For us, it's midday here. So tomorrow we have an independence dinner. That dinner will feature the new incoming executive of the Uganda-Boston Association. Mr. Simple, who is the outgoing president, will be handing over to Ms. Maureen and the new cabinet. Maureen has been very supportive of us of this event. I'm very proud to have partnered with you, Maureen, and your team. Prosi, I don't know whether Prosi is nearby. We're going to have a dinner, Touch and Soul Band, Joe Malaika Fashion. We have Mazina Maganda, pile dancers. We have DJ Charlie and many other people will be coming in. It's only $100 just because we have to pay for dinner in this place. Please invite a friend, buy a table. If you're here and you didn't know about it, please do that. But ladies and gentlemen, I happen to have invited the high school principal. Miss Nampera Lujira is the high school principal here in Boston at an academy called Pacific Rim. It's a charter school. And one of the things we advertise, and I always like to make sure we talk about some of the things, was, kind of a career guide to how we can prepare our kids. Many of us are parents now, middle school, high school. She's a high school, again, principal. As a Ugandan, I just wanted to invite her to be part of this event and just give her her thoughts, on how or the commonly made mistakes we make as parents as we prepare our kids, either for college or high school, or many of us who went to university here ended up into, say, student loan debt or whatever you want to call it. She's here to guide us on how you can make sure you avoid all that. But also as a Ugandan, she's the daughter of Professor Rujira. I came many years ago, and those are some of the people we grew up looking to, and I just thought it was such an honor to have you accept our invitation. Speak your heart. We're Ugandans. You're Ugandan. You're a high school principal. I like to celebrate my own when I see them. You have a global audience as well, and I would encourage you to greet them and maybe tell us what you think. And then we'll continue with our program. The only reason I brought her in because she has to be somewhere and she's been waiting patiently to speak. So Nampera Lujira, please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon and good evening to everyone in Uganda. My name is Nampera Lugera, and I was born in Zambia in the 70s. My parents were connected to Makerere because my father was a dean and my mom was a lecturer. So actually I grew up on the campus until they were exiled in 1977. And so we came here as refugees, and my parents, new to the country, also did not know the educational system. So it was definitely a learning opportunity for them, as well as a participant in the educational education in the U.S. for me as well. I'm lucky that my mother was very vigilant with all of our teachers, and they always knew that my family was extremely dedicated to education. And today I plan on talking about things to consider while raising children in America within the educational system. So first I'm going to just ask for participation from you. How many people have children who are in the American system now? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, are they in elementary school? Middle school? High school? Okay, so I'm going to talk briefly about things to consider from birth to high school to post-secondary education. So some things to consider before school. So you're pregnant, you're having your child, you're planning either to have somebody come into the house. I've had many judges. I have a 22-year-old and 20-year-old who I've raised here, and I did have a judge in my house who helped me raise my children until they had to go to preschool. So even when we think about the judges who stay with us, are they reading to your children? Something to consider. Buy books, whether Luganda, whether in English, that your child is actively practicing reading skills, listening skills, and social setting skills. And if you take them to daycare, that's something you should also consider too. What type of early childhood curriculum is the daycare providing for your child to set them up for success in elementary school? And don't leave the education to the people who watch your children. Make sure you're also actively finding books that are developmentally appropriate. The library is free in America. So you can go get a library card and you have hosts to all types of books. You can make friends with a librarian. They can tell you what books will help your child develop and also explore what they like and what they don't like, which will help on the other end when they get to high school. What do I consider my interest and what could I make an entire career out of what I like? Mr. Mayando shared with me that some of the likes his daughters have expressed to him. Go to the library, make it a family occasion, find out books, do the research together. You know, when they're in high school, you can analyze. So if you want to be a dancer, this is how much you'll make. If you want to be a banker, this is how much you'll make. And then, you know, that also influences the security that you want for them to have in the future. So as your children enter elementary school, my advice and something to consider would be get to know your children's teachers. Get to know them intimately. Make sure they know who you are and that you're coming to the school and your child has a whole host of people behind them. It's very easy for African American, black people in America to get lost. If your child's in a predominantly white school, you may think that that's the best environment for them, but if the school doesn't know that they're coming with mommy, daddy, auntie, uncle, everyone, they may just disregard them and not give them the education that you want them to have. Again, in the elementary school years, as a parent, do your best to read with them. If it's reading on the laptop, if it's reading on the tablet, make sure your child is actively engaging in keeping their literacy skills up. I say that to come to high school. I'll say in Boston, you have charters, you've got private schools, and you have public schools. Each educational setting is what you make it and what your child makes it. But again, just because your child is in high school doesn't mean you let go, especially here, especially because our kids are naturally marginalized. Make sure, again, you know who the guidance counselor is, the principal. Ask for the principal's phone number. I give my phone number out freely because I need people to know that I am invested in their child and their child's education as well as their social emotional development. Ronnie mentioned about more things to consider about planning for your child's post-secondary education. I love that I'm coming at the end after you've heard all of this stuff about money. Start saving however little when your child is born, if you can't do it then, when your child enters preschool, if you can't do it then. At every step of the way that your child is in education, put that $10 away, put that $5 away, put that $25, but just make it a habit of investing in their future. Because here in America, we are already at a deficit as immigrants. We don't have generational wealth yet. We don't have people who are giving us things that are passed down. Property, if you're a first-time home buyer, it's probably going to take 3 or 4 generations to gain that wealth back and cycle it back into your family. Some other points about high school. Explore different career options with your child. as a principal, and I meet many kids who have different feelings about their parents at this age. The youth may not be the nicest. They may be rejecting their culture, and they want to assimilate more and feel more comfortable with being an American. So that's a real thing, right? But it's our job as parents to make sure we are connected with our children. We have an open line of communication. And we also give young people the grace to make a mistake, know that we're there as their parents to pick them up and create that net of safety so that they're practicing mistakes so they don't create them in the future. Some other things to consider as you prepare for post-secondary, after high school, planning for your child. Think about whether or not a two-year college is an option. There's nothing wrong with going to a two-year college. Kids can then have more time to explore instead of investing in a loan for a four-year college and then come to find out they don't want to be an accountant. That's money wasted on most likely the parents' end, but then also time on the child's end. There are so many community colleges within Massachusetts that offer so many different backgrounds. Backgrounds as well as steps to getting a four-year degree, but also one common way for two-year schools is if you want to be a nurse. You can do your two-year LPN, then do your RN, then do your nurse practitioner at an affordable rate within the public university system. So there's different ways to get to Rome, but think about how much you can afford. Think about whether or not a private school who's going to give you a lump sum loan is the best option. But I think within this room, we have a lot of people who are resources. I know I have a limited time, but I definitely wanted to make sure that I touch base on things to consider from birth to high school, but then also just to remind us that without education, especially in this country, unless you are an entrepreneur, unless you decide to go out on your own as a plumber, an electrician, the best way to open a door is through education. I can't say that enough. My own two sons decided, oh, we're going to go out on our own and be entrepreneurs. And I quietly looked, observed, and they're quietly saying, Mommy, I think I want to go back to school. And I'm like, okay, welcome. Welcome. Let's walk this journey together. And it's okay if kids don't want to do what you want to do. As grown-ups, we cannot put our own educational personas on our kids. My father's a professor, and my mother is also well-known. I am not taking on their persona. I'm creating my own, and I encourage everyone else to make sure that they support their children and know that the system at home is very different than the system here, but there are many people and many resources who can help navigate, and I offer up myself as one of those resources to help navigate, because the only way that we're going to keep this as a diaspora and the only way that we're going to be able to provide those remittances in a timely fashion and keep our kids connected to Uganda is to be present at these events, participate, and just remind one another that it's a community. And I know I was raised by many different aunties, judges, uncles within the community, and I'm just here to also give back. So I thank you, and can open up to any questions before they come back for the mic. Well, I appreciate this time, and it was a pleasure, and I'm so proud to be able to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Uganda's independence, my country and my home.
Happy Independence Day.
Thank you.
Certainly. She's also around. Again, we're going to be breaking bread in just a few minutes. You can go and touch base with her. Great minds here. I am learning and taking in everything. Right? I am learning and taking in everything. Mama, can I say that I can't stay the same after this? hearing great minds speaking about deep stuff that we don't get to listen to oftentimes, you know, hearing the different products and different mindsets. You know, I've just tweeted about this event and everyone is really excited to listen in. So lots of stuff to take in. We'll get about 3-4 people and then we can break off for lunch. I'm sure you have a long day ahead of you. Let me invite Mr. Derek Timer, who is a financial expert, to come and really talk to us about financial literacy and savings and investments. And he's coming up along with Ruth Navido to come and really talk to us about financial literacy and in areas of investment, insurance, health, and education. Karibu.
Thank you very much, Solomon. Good afternoon, everyone. So, like he said, my name is Derek Timer, and here is my colleague, Ruth Nabido. And me and Ruth are from WSB, WFG, which stands for World System Builder, stroke World Financial Group. And we're just a community of financial professionals determined to provide the best financial education and to revolutionize the services, the financial services industry. So what I mean by revolutionize is that we walk to you. You don't have to go to a financial advisor no more. We walk to you and we show you, we teach you about everything that you need to know about financial education. And we realize that whatever we talked about today rotates about education, knowledge. How much do you know about what everyone here is saying? They will be gone, but you remain without enough knowledge, and we'll bridge the gap. So that's our job, to educate you about the things that you need to do, the things that you need to know about finance. So how do we do it? We do it through the major components of financial education, and that's tax, insurance, retirement planning, college planning, investment, estate planning, long-term care, and funeral planning. These are components, the major components of financial literacy. All of us here need to go through these before you think about building a very strong financial foundation. If you don't do this, you're simply wasting time. If you don't have any knowledge about how you build your financial education, financial foundation, if you don't know how to increase your cash flow, if you don't know how to manage your debt, if you don't know how to get proper protection, if you do not know how wealth can be built, if you do not plan your retirement, if you do not know anything about wealth preservation, then you can't build a very strong financial foundation. That's basically what we do. So, in brief, and I'm going to let my colleague do a climax about it because she's a very exciting lady. When she starts to speak, she will not stop. But I wanted to tell you about the effect, the simple effect that taxes can have on your bottom line. You need to know how much taxes can affect your investment. You need to know how life insurance can affect your financial progress. You need to know when to start planning for your retirement. Those who have kids, you need to know what you need to do to plan for their college. For investment, we tell you about the different portfolios and who are the players, who are the key players in the market, because we work with the best in this industry with big, huge asset bases. So you are safe with your investments. Everyone has an estate. Estate doesn't mean that you should have a lot of money. Every home is an estate. If you don't have an estate plan in this country, you may find problems. You may find problems passing on your wealth to somebody else when you pass. So it's very, very important for you to understand how estate planning works, and that's our job. We give you the information free of charge. Then long-term care. All of us, especially in this country, we know about how people are surviving in old age. If you don't have long-term care planned, you might have issues when you grow old and you need care. Because it's not like back home where a relative is going to take care of you. If you're planning to grow old from here, you need long-term care planned. Then we have funeral planning. We have Gwanga Muje here, but what we talk about is far, far different from Gwanga Muje because it's so broad. So we have a desk out there. If you want more information, you can always come and we make an arrangement, and we can also educate you one-on-one if you call us. And Ruth is going to tell you our address. Ruth, you want to add on more? Thank you.
Thank you, Derek, for that breakdown. Good afternoon, everyone. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to businessmen and women in our audience. It is such a powerful audience. Again, my name is Ruth Nabido, and I run a financial services business. Financial services industry in America is $4.8 trillion worth. It is a very powerful industry. But our specificity is we specify in life insurance, investment, education, and investment, life insurance, and health insurance. So 10 years ago, a financial literacy campaign was launched. And it is absurd that only in our Ugandan community, we have known about it like only about 4 years. So they encourage all communities in America, people who moved from Africa, Latino, Asians are taking part to participate and represent their people here in America. This used to be a work of, I would say, some communities. When you look at the cycle of poverty in minority communities in this country, the reason is we lack knowledge. We are not exposed to the information so that us too can make sound financial decisions. We don't know where to put our dollars to gain growth. Taxes, protection, how to build a strong financial foundation. In our communities, no one is receiving an inheritance from their parents. In our communities, we pass down generational burdens. That is called generational cycle of poverty in black communities, in minority communities in this country. So, but when you look at the most powerful families here in America, the most influential communities and families, I won't name them, the way they have maintained power and money and wealth is by the structures put together in this book, what Derek has just mentioned. The way they build power, not only just build generations, 3 generations ahead, but they educate their children from childhood. They make sure their children are interested in finance. If at least at high school they make $500, they make sure they teach them how to save at least 10% of their money. And not only saving it, but saving it where it grows. And then make sure that they save money where it grows and they will pay the least amount of tax. Or they pay almost 0 tax. So now, all those instruments and strategies and principles of personal finance are written in this book. And this program, the financial literacy program, we offer it for free to people in the community. So we invite, the good news is our people, Ugandan communities here now in Boston, we have embraced the campaign. and many people are getting certified to be certified educators. So anybody, it's an open market. Anybody, please, we want more educators to come and pass on this information. So when you look at the statistics here, I will read a line. So the information here, these are true facts compiled from 2 countries, Canada and America. But when you look at the US picture, it's even gloomier because they say 79% of Americans feel the financial stress. And more than half live paycheck per paycheck. And then 62% of Americans carry credit card debt, and 37% have already maxed out their credit cards. 27% don't pay their bills on time. So we can spend all our time introducing all the best portfolios on the market. Where should you invest your money? Whatever it is. If you don't have money, you can't invest. If you don't know the principles, you can't make money. Are you just making a little bit of money to get by? Can you be an entrepreneur in this country? This country was built for entrepreneurs. You can be an entrepreneur, you build a big business in the financial services industry. We have embraced the healthcare system. Yes, the healthcare, we are nurses, we are registered nurses. We do so much, we are excelling in that field. What about finance? If you have a legal problem, you're quick to call your lawyer. You have a stomach ache, headache, anything, you don't feel fine, you're quick to call your doctor. When you work 5 years, 10 years, things are not moving, you're on a treadmill, why don't you consult with a financial professional or an expert? So now they say, it's ironic that we live in one of the wealthiest countries in the world, but we always have money problems. We can work hard all our lives, but retire poor. And we do so much to raise our children just to see them finish college with a lot of debt. Then debt becomes a way of life. We don't know much. We don't do much. Nobody teaches us personal finance from school. All is here. This kind of finance we teach people for free, you will not learn it from school. He's a former banker. He agreed when he sat down in our workshops, he said, it is true. I worked so hard. He built his branch to $1 million branch, $1 million shillings branch. But when he was paid his own salary, he didn't know how to manage his own money, so that he will not retire poor. Am I correct? We work with so many other people. Former MBA finance, accountant. They don't know how to manage their own money when they are paid a salary. Lawyers, anybody, you can agree that when you're paid, you make that profit from that business. Where do you put the money? That's where we come in, to teach you the principles. Exactly. So I know I'm out of time, but we want to introduce you one of our products that this industry is so smart. They keep building products based on people's needs. So one of the best products that we recommend to people is what the Indexed Universal Life Insurance Policy. It covers all the things Derek has just outlined. You pay 0 tax on your money. You can save in there. Some of the money you invest in your insurance policy goes to cover you with life insurance. And then the balance, like almost 70%, is invested for you inside of that policy. And you pay 0 tax. And then it has the best growth on the market, which gives up to 13% in interest monthly. And then on the downside, if the market fluctuates and you never lose money in that product, life insurance was built that way. And then on the protection part, in case you get sick, disabled, or you pass on, then it comes in to help you. I'll leave you with this. If you're walking out, this is a snow state. If you walk out on snow, you slide, break your hip, and your doctor says you have 6 months to heal. Mothers, parents, who is going to take care of your bills? That is when your life insurance policy comes in. Life insurance is no longer for death. Life insurance is for living, long-term care, critical care, chronic illness benefits. These are the policies that are comprehensive planning, and it was designed to help you with your personal financial planning. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Wow. I'm taking it in. I'm taking it in. Thank you very much. Whew. I'm loving everything. I'm glad I came. I'm really glad I came. I hope you are. Are you learning something? Mama, have you found something interesting? Right? Yeah. All right. We're learning everything about it. There's something I love about this country as we wrap up. There's something I love about this country. I'm told you can have everything that you want, and then you will pay for it along the way. So when I came here, when I was told about the system, I told myself, I'm going to be, if I was in this country, I think I would drive a Range Rover, because you have to pay per month, But at the end of the day, you have a big house, you have a big car, you have everything you need, but you have to work hard to be able to meet your monthly obligations. Wow. And another thing that came to my mind is taxes, right? And so we're privileged to be having one of the leading tax consultants in this country, a Ugandan, to talk to us about managing our taxes. Dr. Michael Chisembo is the president of the Multi-Professional Consultants. With all respect, sir, can we invite you with love? Can we give him some love, Dr. Michael Chisembo? Please come and talk to us about taxes as we wrap it up. Dr. Michael is our last presenter, and I will call and invite Ronnie to give us his closing remarks and talk to us about what's coming next. Doctor, you're very welcome. Karibu.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to tire you so much today and this afternoon. Let me greet my brothers and sisters in UG, the land I love so much, and also good afternoon here. I would say I'm the old person who prepared tax in Ugandans here. The first time I did prepare here I was in the college in 1983 here in Massachusetts, when we were using only papers. And then after that, I went back. I did not stay here. I went back to Uganda after my college, my grad school here. And the one thing I loved so much was the Bank of Uganda, to be frank with you. I did participate a lot in treasury bills and treasury bonds. For my 12 years, I spent in Uganda, working in Uganda, before I came back here. Now, thank you very, very much. The only thing I never liked from you is the closing of Greenland Bank, which I almost lost my money, but I did not lose it, thank God, because the accountant was my classmate at Namirango College, so he alerted me. But thank you very much for all that treasure bills, and I hope when I go back to Uganda, then I'll participate again. Now, I don't want to talk too much on this taxation and planning. I'm a practitioner, and I'm here representing our company of a multi-professional consultant, which has been here since 2002. And it is made up of many Ugandans, and also we have staff from India, which I think one time I was warned rather than the Embassy of Uganda in Washington. When they called us in our office, they said, why Uganda when you are employing in? I said, but this is one of them. So, what we do, especially now, the accounting, or first strategic management, when you're starting your business, you'd have a strategic management, first and foremost. And then you go into financial planning, which my friends have been talking about. And then you make sure your account, you have put in place a sounding accounting system in your company, on your business. And let me let you know, because I work so much with internal revenue service here, we call IRS, as we have in Uganda, Internal Revenue Authority, right? Is it Uganda Revenue Authority? So it has become very critical now, especially the last announcement by IRS, that they are going to put more emphasis on compliance on small businesses, effective this year. I'm not going to say that because the US government has given a lot of money to small businesses, and they have given a lot of money to help us come out of COVID-19 and all those. But it's extremely very important now for those people who have business down here in this country to make sure that you have the sound accounting system in place. They have increased the number of compliance staff at IRS level, and they are training new people. So let us, especially the people from the diaspora, and especially those who are starting new businesses, because we have seen a lot of diaspora people starting a lot of businesses this time. They want to be maybe financially independent, as somebody was talking here, but it's extremely very important. I want to emphasize this, to have a sound accounting system in place, because the compliance from IRS is going to be increasing. Now, let me see what we do. Simply what we do as multi-professional consultants, apart from what I teach at the university, I teach the finance and accounting and taxation. We have our own practice. We're practitioners. Most of us are from Uganda and from East Africa. Now, what we do in our company, we do strategic planning for small businesses. We do financial planning for small businesses and medium businesses. When you talk about medium businesses in this country, we talk about less than 1,000 employees. So those are small, medium businesses, and low business up to two people. Also, apart from strategic planning, we do financial planning, and then we do accounting. We set up accounting system and sound accounting system for all businesses. I'm glad when I was in Uganda in June, I saw that they have started using QuickBooks Online. Probably they have, and also they have another software from India, which also we are interested, because I'm trying to transit, going back home, the place where I was born and the place which I love. Because what we say, but Mike, you again, I need to put this statement. I love Uganda so much because I used to cry when I was young. I used to cry whenever they were playing the national anthem, and whenever the crane was playing, and I used to call them the flying crane. But most important, I love Fort Portal, where I was born. What do we say? East and West, but home is the best. So, apart from the setting accounting system, we do a lot of tax services. We work close and close with the Department of Treasury. We work close and close with the Internal Revenue Service. We represent all our clients, company and individual, in the court, IRS court. And also we incorporate companies. Apart from that, recently we have also put payroll services. So it's just a stop. What do you call it? Stop? What do you call that? One stop shop, whatever. One stop what? One stop shop. I'm not a good talker. Now, recently also we have entered into the field of immigration. And we're working with immigration lawyers so that whenever our diaspora people come in, we can easily serve them. And even if I return back to Uganda, it doesn't mean the company is going to stop, sir. The company will continue because it's incorporated in Uganda here, and we're trying also to get others. We're incorporating also companies in Uganda to work closer with our company here. But the problem has been, as I was talking to Mama Chigozi, is that, man, too much bureaucracy. Too much bureaucracy. It has taken us 6 months to incorporate two companies in Kampala, and also through the NEMA. You go into NEMA in Kampala, then you are sent back to Fort Portal, and then again, we are not used to that. Seriously, we are not used to that. But I know somebody there is coming, taking me off the, because teachers, we don't finish when we are talking. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming here, and we hope we meet you in Uganda again. We're coming home. Don't mind, we'll be with you. But please reduce your bureaucracy and help us, because we're not used to that. We are very, very impatient. Very, very impatient, really. But we shall try to be patient, but also try to be a little bit easier for us. Thank you very much for keeping us.
Dr. Maggie, I thought that this issue of incorporating companies and for people who are beginning businesses was long sorted with the one-stop center that the Uganda Investments Authority put up, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah. I actually thought about the environment impact assessment is done by the person who is beginning the business. They get one of the consultants to actually do the environment impact assessment report, and it's submitted to NEMA for approval. So that's where you're saying it's taking time.
Yeah, we did submit. We did get a consultant from Fort Portal, and then went to Kampala, and then the Kampala then have sent back to Fort Portal again, the city, to give another assessment, and then send back so that you can get a license from the NEMA. It's something. But I agree with that online. When my assistant did that online, especially reserving the name, it was much easier. But when you involve the consultant, give me a break.
We will work with that because I'm here to promote the fact that things have changed back home in Uganda. What you used to know, things have really, really changed. So this is why I'm actually saddened that it has taken NEMA quite a lot of time to approve your environment impact assessment report. Dr. Maggie has noted that down. As a person who is passionate about investment, we should be able to follow up. Ladies and gentlemen, Ronnie Mayanja.
Ladies and gentlemen, our time is fast spent. Mr. Mayanja, just come briefly and tell people the convention taking place next year in May. Please, Raka, just come talk about the book, and then we're going to be wrapping this up. We have a book that he wants to make sure you guys are able to take. Our time is spent in this location. They have to set up for another event taking place, so forgive us if you had any other things to say. I know we have an online audience watching, but we are wrapping up in about 2 minutes.
Okay, in 2 minutes I've been told. How many of you know Rolex, the famous Rolex from Uganda? This book was written by a young man who started selling Rolex in the streets of Kampala, and with that experience came to America, started as a nursing assistant. We thank God for our nurses. We went through COVID. They helped us. He worked as a nursing assistant, then worked in the bank. It was at the bank that he learned a few principles. For example, make sure you surround yourself with smart people and marry a smart woman. He married a smart woman. Together they've started several businesses in America. He's only 29. It's all in this book. It's called The Enterprising Entrepreneur. building your ladder to success. And in April next year, he's having a real estate conference. Those of you who want to learn how to buy your first property, those who are renting, you're actually throwing your money out to the thieves. You need to own your own property. So he's going to talk to you the process of owning 1, 2, 3 multiple properties. April next year, have Easter in America. You're all welcome. And thank you, Ronnie. And you should not only invest in coffee, which is a good idea. You should not only invest in the treasury bonds, which is also a good idea. You can invest in real estate in America, diversify your portfolio. Brian Kayonga and his team will show you in April next year. The book is only $20. You can find it here at this conference, or you can tomorrow, or here as well, and you at the dinner, and then you could also get it on Amazon. Ronnie, you're doing a good job for our community. We thank you. Let's give a hand.
Thank you. Gloria, please, if you can come here. Mr. Mayanja. Mr. Mayanja happens to be, I invited him all the way from Seattle. He's the chairman of the Buganda Convention, Buganda Bumu Convention. The king of Buganda will be joining us in Seattle next year in May. I happen to be the head of their fundraising team. I invite you on their behalf, and I just want him to say something, and then we wrap up.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. My name's Engineer Moses Gai Mayanja, the Kabaka's representative in the Pacific Northwest. I live in Seattle, Washington, and I'm very happy to be with all of you. First of all, I want to thank you, Ronnie, with all your team for organizing such a fabulous event. The speakers have been so great. Thank you very much. You should be doing a few things like this, maybe twice a year. This is very, the funding, okay, we can all come in and pitch in, and this is very informative. Not like Solomon, who is surprised. I've learned a lot, though I've lived in this country for 30 years. Ladies and gentlemen, mine is easy. I invite you to come and join us to the Buganda Bumu Convention, which will be in Seattle, Washington in May of Memorial Day weekend of 2023. I know we are time barred. I'll be brief, but we'll send you all the relevant information to come and be with us. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending.
With that, I believe we are done because, again, Gloria, is there something you wanted to say about the share butter? But, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to take, as she comes, I just wanted to thank our patron, Dr. Maggie, again, chairperson, Makerere University Endowment Trust and Foundation. Thank you to our speakers who came in today. We really appreciate you guys. Thank you for all of you guys who have participated in one way or the other. Gloria here has some share butter. She's all the way from Arizona. She's one of the people who reached out to me when we started advertising and promoting this event. Could you just say in a minute just what you want people to take away from? She's going to be here for the dinner tomorrow, and maybe she'll get some of her product.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me and coming to this convention. My name is Gloria Kadidirwe, and I'm here on behalf of Livara Natural Shea Butter. It's the leading #1 product producer, manufacturer of shea butter back home. And we have now brought our products to the US. Please come by our booth and know more about Livara Shea Butter. Thank you so much. Yeah, our website is www.mylivara.com. You can order all our products online. And my number is 480-468-4543. Thank you so much, Ronnie.
Ladies and gentlemen, because there is another event coming up, we need to really kind of vacate this place. We can take our meeting in the foyer area. The people setting up or basically dismantling this whole event, please go ahead. In a special way, I wanted to appreciate Mr. Solomon Seranja, our Komla Dumla award-winning journalist by BBC, who has done us good. He's also the executive director of the African Institute of Investigative Journalism. I hope to do some connections with you here in Boston, at Boston University and other places. To our speakers, Zigoti Coffee, our sponsors, Mr. Wabulia, Mr. Arthur Kiwanuka, Nampera, the principal. You're coming tomorrow. We are recognizing you in a special way because I like to celebrate Ugandan. Please join us tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need a ticket, the tickets are available, courtesy of the incoming leadership. Simple, I'm sure, will have some tickets, but also Fande Momo or Maureen Asimwe together with Prosi, the incoming executive, should have that. We are swearing in the new executive tomorrow. Please come, support them. I don't know if there is anything housekeeping we left out today. Please let us know. Prosi, do you want to say something as the new vice president incoming? She just wants to invite you guys, and then we are done. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming, supporting us, and being part of this event. And then just a minute, because these hotel people are on my case.
So much. Njagala okwebaza abantu mwenna abaze olunaku olwaleero. Mbadde njagala okuzzaamu omuntu olunaku olwaleero amaanyi. I do business in Uganda. I just wanted to encourage Ugandans okukola business ewaffe eka. Maama yazze wano yatugambye, let's love Uganda. So when I started doing business back home, abantu bangamba bagenda kubba tebijja kukola. I have a successful business, textiles. And kyenkusaba maama, mutusalire ku bisolo, tukomewo tukole ebintu eka. Encourage us. We want to invest in our country. Naye emisolo gitulemesa. I was seeing a program, Ghana is exempting people from the diaspora from taxes. They're not paying taxes in their country. Mutu encouraging okukola ebintu ewaka by exempting us from the taxes. We really want to invest. We love our country. Mukama bawe omukisa.
Ladies and gentlemen, Prosi is among the incoming executive of the Uganda Boston Association. They'll be sworn in tomorrow. We will also have Fande Momo, but let me give it over to Mr. Solomon Seranja, CEO of AAI, or African Investigative Journalism Association in Uganda, to take it away.
Round of applause to Ronnie Mayanja. Thank you. One last thing. Can we clap for Diaspora TV? Thank you. Thank you very much for your efforts. They have done amazingly well. And Mr. Kalunji, where are you? Thank you. Thank you, my brother Kalunji. And the photographers, guys. Yeah. Simple has been here. Simple Communications, thank you. Because I come from that part of the world, how do I leave this platform without saying it? And thank you so much for being part of the business breakfast today. My name is Solomon Serwanja. Good afternoon.
This is Diaspora TV, your #1 global network.